Welcome to Kranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise, and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversation for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Kranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always win. Come on, let's get into it. I don't know what happened. I put myself on the screen and somehow I fell off. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How's everyone doing out there in YouTube land? Thanks for joining. Come back to the Kranky Live show. Quite a bit to talk about today. You can see from the thumbnail, the primary discussion is around what's happening in the JFF. Before I jump into that topic though, I recognize those of you in the chat who put your information up. Romy said, if Speid is not the coach, Bailey, all of them waste, I'll go, decide. So he's basically saying that if Speid's not the coach, we won't have the culture and discipline that we need for that continuity we're looking for. And in vacation, it says, Blessing Kranky and that from, thanks for asking the right question. Yeah, no, we'll have the conversation. I want to say a couple of things. One is, I was watching earlier today, Ivory Coast playing against France, and they won the game. And they have a good team. Bless up Ted Dexter and Peter. They have a good team. We may have some upsets in the World Cup. Remember we had Morocco the last time around. Prior to that, we had Croatia. There's always a country coming through doing well, which may change the dynamics of the normal countries who make the semi-final and final. So, Pele, God rest his soul, prognosticated or predicted way back when that Africa probably be the next continent from a footballing perspective. That does not materialize. Obviously, Morocco is Africa, but I think we're talking more like West Africa, East Africa versus North Africa. But maybe Ivory Coast will do well this World Cup. They look really good against France. And France played almost the entire lineup, squad, but they played a lot of their first teamers in the first half. So Cherokee scored a good goal, but Ivory Coast held their own and put them under pressure. France missing a few players. Saliba supposedly have a back problem, may need surgery. Not a good thing for Arsenal or France. And we don't know if he's going to miss the World Cup, but that's interesting. In terms of basketball, I did a watch along last night. Very pleased with the progress in that stream. Got to improve my commentary and be more excitable. But I'm testing out what strategy to employ as it comes about doing the basketball coverage. But my Knicks won last night in San Antonio. I was unhappy with part of the play in the game. I think Brunson got to reduce his ball hog until the fourth quarter. Took 31 shots to score 30 points, and everybody's praising him like the Knicks coming off whatever, as if the other players couldn't produce when he keeps shooting. But we won. It's a good thing. He's a brilliant player, and hopefully we can bring it over the line and win since the first time since 53 years ago. And New York is going. People, it reminds me of way back when the Mets win the World Series, where even my mom then got into baseball. I know nothing about sports. And we're seeing the same thing now with the Knicks because there's so much in the news, so much focus on the Knicks and what they're doing. Everybody's on the bandwagon. So they're like Jamaican fans. When things are going well, they're on the bandwagon. By the way, as you come to the chat, people, and I'm trying to be very nice, please hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Now, today's conversation, bless up ONON, Uptown, Sylvester, Joseph. Today's discussion is about the JFF, the Reggae Boyz, and the coaching situation. If we think about the current situation, this is one of the most important decisions Jamaica can make for its football. It's an imperative. It's important. And the organization need to be really thoughtful about this. The JFF has published the requirements for the next Reggae Boyz head coach. Before we debate names, we must debate standards. It's very important. Are these requirements designed to identify the best coach available globally? Or are they designed to broaden the pool and make more candidates available, i.e. local candidates? That's a central question for this evening's discussion. By the way, I'm going to mention some names because the names normally thrown out. I hope it's not much wider pool. But I'm not here to belittle or degrade or critique any given candidate, no matter who they are. It's not attacking anyone. It's a discussion about the process of governance, about ambitions, about requirements, about what's needed, about the future of Jamaica football. If Jamaica has aspirations, desire, and ambition to reach the next World Cup, and God knows we bundled this one to the zenith, then the standards that we are going to be putting in place and want adherence to needs to be world-class standards. And it has to be where those standards need to be satisfied individual with the skill sets and the ability and the requirements to satisfy. They meet the requirements. And we can't just put people in place because, you know what? They're one of us, quote unquote, whatever that means. That can't be it. So let me take some comments, and then I'll jump into this a little bit. So Tony Brush says, we spend too much time crying about who the coach should or should not be, or players not getting held account as far as I'm concerned. They, for me, deserve most of the blame for the World Cup failure. So we will never have consensus and uniformity and agreement as to who were primarily responsible for a World Cup failure. It's always my philosophy that in any organization, whether it's your church, whether it's your country, whether it's your sports team, whether it's your company, that the buck stops with the decision makers, those in charge. And I have not wavered on this. I've said from day one, the primary culprit for the failure of Jamaica to make the World Cup resides with the JFF, Michael Ricketts, and the board. To me, that's indisputable. Now, there are elements that informs the failure, such as the players, such as the coach. And for those who want to blame the players, first of all, the coach doesn't pick him or herself for any team. That's done by the federation. The players don't pick themselves. That's done by the coach, and in some instances, they're recruited by the federation. So the buck stops with those who run organization. And I'm very disturbed and perturbed and don't understand why that's not obvious to anyone who's assessing failure in any entity, in any organization, in any situation. If you pick the wrong person, you're going to get the wrong outcome. That's not what happens unless you get lucky. So I'm not buying this notion that we should just blame the players because the players failed. That's very obvious. But who picked the players? Who set up the players? Who picked the coach? Who gave the coach the assistant coach who no longer is part of the administration, which I find amazing? Who picked a coach who was a dinosaur, who so many people said was not the right person, but you picked him anyway because you knew him from some other engagement? It's ridiculous. Who makes all these decisions that informs the ultimate outcome? Who maintained the coach in the position when a lot of people say he should be fired? These are not hindsight view. These are things which were discussed publicly in various forums, including YouTube. So I'm not sure why that's now we're going to say the player should be blamed or the coach should be blamed. Yes, they have culpability. Yes, they require some blame. But the primary responsible parties are those in charge. I think the disappointment of the World Cup will hit home when the World Cup commences, and we see Curacao playing, and we see Haiti playing, and we see Panama playing. I'm not even mentioning the US, Mexico, or Canada. Those teams who qualify through the normal qualification process, they didn't get a bye because they are hosting the World Cup. So I'm going to ask you a question as we go through discussion. Think about it. As we move forward in 2026, going towards 2027, because we're halfway through the year, and we're going to Nations League, should Jamaica prioritize immediate qualification? Or not, I would say it's medium-term qualification because 2030 is not around the corner. Some of us won't be around come 2030. Should they prioritize that? Should they prioritize more long-term development? Or can they multitask and do both? We have a current situation we need to address, which is competitions like the Nations League and Gold Cup next year. We have other competitions in terms of development of the football. We have World Cup to think about in 2030. These are decisions. And by the way, JFF, because, I mean, let me just say this. I think I've been banned from JFF engagement. I got the sense that I'm one of those individuals who are on the, what they call the toxic people in YouTube. I think I'm in a toxic group. So I don't get any of the inside information anymore. I have to be like a regular general public person who get information from regular sources. Apart from maybe when they send out stuff to the media directly. I don't get that inside scoop that I used to get. And I can live with that because I'm going to be true to myself when I talk about these things. But the question that arises, one, where JFF, I have a question for you. Where's your strategy? So we have failed the World Cup and you should have a strategic plan in place. Where is the strategic plan, JFF? We're not seeing none. We want to see the strategic plan. We want to see what's... I remember sending the plan for Spain to a senior person in JFF and then tell me, them throw it away. And I laughed and said to myself, of course you throw it away. Probably never understand in the first place, so you throw it away. Or you probably are so egotistical and think you know everything that you wouldn't even leverage it to help inform your view about what some things you should think about. Because I don't know if JFF had a strategic plan. We can't just keep going from one thing to the next. Don't have a plan. Don't have process. Don't have goals, short, medium, long term, want to achieve, and then check them off as we go along. So JFF, please distribute or disseminate or disclose your strategic plan to the general public. We would love to see it. You can go online and get Spain's own or some other countries. We'd love to see the plan. I'd love to see JFF. Please provide it. Let me take a couple comments and then I'll move forward to the next component of this. Shamas writes that we should keep Kohli. We'll get to Kohli. We'll get to all of it. So let me do this first. So the JFF distributed the requirements for the coaching role. So you remember before the president came about and looked like he was handing the job to Rudolph Speid. And then I guess he got pushed back from some members of the board and from, wouldn't say the media, because the media has been, traditional media has been a waste, to be honest. They haven't been the parties who are providing the insight, the perspective, the critique, the challenge that's required. They just go along with the status quo. Right? That's what they do. They don't provide anything. But the JFF did come out with the requirements for the role. So I'm going to try to pull it up and read it. Let me try to pull it up. So this should be, so this came out in the media today. And it's the requirements. And we're going to read it. It's the Jamaica Football Federation. And it says for immediate release. And it says Jamaica Football Federation invites applications from suitable, qualified, and experienced individuals for the position of head coach of the senior men's national team, Reggae Boyz. It further goes on to say it's categorized into sort of three main categories: minimum qualification experience, core responsibilities, and then it tells you, if you're interested, how to apply. Now, under minimum qualifications, it says, and this says minimum, must possess a valid CONCACAF A license or an internationally recognized equivalent Example, UEFA Pro license or A license. Let me just say this, JFF. First of all, the A license is not equivalent to the Pro license. And by the way, people, when I come here and talk about these things, I'm going to break them down. So I'm going to show you the requirements of a Pro license and the requirements of an A license, right? We're going to have conversation. I'm going to walk you through some of this, but we'll keep going. It says proven track record of elite coaching experience. Now, please underline, I'll put in quotes that word elite. Elite coaching experience, preferable with senior national teams or top tier professional clubs. So hear what it says. Preferable with senior national teams. So coaching experience. It didn't say head coach, it said coaching experience. This is a very cutely written requirements for this role. Hey, people, let me tell you something, people. It says some people like to do certain things in life. It's like, we'll give an example, people, before we even go further with this. It's like we say, Kranky, I want you the job. What I do? I write the requirements that fit exactly what you have. To the T. We now go to the boundaries. So why am I to read this, people? Think about who fit the role for this role and tell me. I will say, on local and overseas. Tell me. But anyway, keep going. Exceptional leadership, strategic planning, tactical acumen, and communication skills with the ability to manage high pressure environments and diverse stakeholders' expectations. So there's 3 things for minimum requirements. You have to have the requisite license. You have to have some experience and proven track record. Put that in quotes. And then you have to can lead. Right? That fit a whole heap of people. Okay, I didn't say you have to have been the coach for an international team. You have to have coaching experience. So if you're the 3rd string assistant coach, you have coaching experience. But anyway, here's the core responsibilities that are provided here. The head coach will be responsible for the overall technical leadership, preparation, and performance of the senior men's national team. Key responsibilities include, but not limited to, identifying, scouting, and selecting eligible domestic and international-based players to form a competitive, cohesive national squad. Now, international-based players doesn't mean diaspora players, because our locally born players are based overseas. And I think every word that's written here was carefully thought out before it was put here. And some of it, I have some challenge with. The second item, designing, implementing, and supervising comprehensive training programs, tactical frameworks, and match day strategies. Third, directing and managing the performance of the assistant coaching staff, medical personnel, and technical support team to ensure optimal player preparation. Number 4, collaborating with sports science, medical, and data analysis staff to monitor and evaluate player fitness, health, and performance metrics. So they want a contemporary coach to deal with sports science. 5, that means McLaren couldn't fit a job here. 5, leading the team during all international fixtures, friendly matches, and major tournaments, including CONCACAF and FIFA competitions. 6, and second to last, working closely with the JFF technical committee and leadership to align team objectives with the broader strategic goals, of Jamaican football, providing regular technical reports and assessments. And last, but probably least, represent the Reggae Boyz and the JFF in a professional manner during press conferences, media engagements, and public relations events. So you saw the minimum requirements, you see the core responsibilities. And then it says how to apply. If you're interested, if you're in the chat and you think you meet the qualifications, and you meet all these requirements to be the Reggae Boyz head coach, they request you submit a very comprehensive resume, including a cover letter, outlining your coaching your coaching philosophy, and copies of your coaching certification, and they provide an email to do so. And the requirement, you need to apply before June 30th. And it also says they're going to shortlist all the applicants, and those on the short list will be contacted for interviews. By the way, people, if you're in the chat, we're going to go through this in detail, people. If you're in the chat, and you like the program and you like Kranky Live and you're part of the Kranky Nation, please hit the like button. I would truly appreciate it. So that's the letter from the JFF, right? You see the core responsibility. You have to have experience, you have to have a license, you have to have a track record. And then it talks to what you need to do, which is what a lot of coaches do. Now, of course, Kranky took some time out and say, you know what? I'm going to take what was provided in this letter. I'm going to compare it to what I think should have been provided in the letter. You know, me have to do them thing there. You have to do a comparison, right? I'm going to spend time doing things on people. So hit the like button, people. At 49 now, 123 people hit the like button. I'm just give me a hard time, you know. I don't know why. Just hit the like button, people. Por favor. I'm not like Anthony Gordon, no Spanish. We know a couple words. So it's an interesting in terms of the requirements. So before I go any further, people, in the chat, do you think these requirements are sufficient? Given the nature of the role, what you think should be required of the coach to coach the Reggae Boyz? Rank number what? What are they rank? About 79 in the world? Are you comfortable with these requirements that's been put in place here? That of the head coach, a license or equivalent, proven track record, demonstrate leadership. You gotta do the normal things of scouting and recruiting players and managing stakeholders. Are you guys comfortable? Is that Duchesne Sweely says yes? Gunnar said this is hilarious. So let me know, people, those of you in the chat, you're comfortable with this? You're comfortable with what's being requested in terms of the requirements to apply for the role? Let me know. Is that global standards? That's a good question. The question is that global standards. That's a good question. Any other questions or comments before I go further? People, 117 people, 60 like. Why someone don't like me now? Lord. Sham said sensible. Was there anything about international experience? There was something here about national team. So proven track record of elite coaching experience. Well, preferable with senior national teams. You know, say you have to have it. Preferable. They prefer that. People, not allow them write this. It's an interesting requirement. Paul Walker said, no way. If you're going to say no way, you got to tell me. If you say no, you got to put something that you think you expect that you don't see. We having a conversation, people. If you say no, then put something that you say should have been there that's not there. Says J. Ross says elite, and he says laugh out loud. We have to define elite. Too. We have to define elite. Because the question is coaching in JPL, for example, elite? All right? You says, no one, a licensed coach. We'll get you out of that, people. We're having a conversation. All right, Gunners is on point. Gunners said them write this just for one person. Be satisfied. Jura said, no, it's far from it. Why go from pro to A? Good question. Maybe no local coach don't have no pro apart from Coley. So if you look at my thumbnail, it basically asks a rhetorical question. Right? It basically asks a rhetorical question. If you look at the thumbnail, it asks a rhetorical question. Was this set up for someone local? And I think unequivocally, I don't think that's disputable. The way this was set up. It's unequivocal. It's smart. A little bit disingenuous, to be honest. Says Peter said, broadly written, many will qualify. Yes, well, everybody will qualify almost, who may be interested. Oh, and Owen says, So didn't Speid initially say pro license? How is pro equivalent becomes CONCACAF A? So I was trying to find that recording. I couldn't find it because yes, I did see it. Rudolph did say, in fact, Rudolph was very dismissive of anybody who didn't have a pro license and UEFA equivalent pro license. Not only pro license, you don't want a pro license from the bush, you want UEFA equivalent pro license. So yes, he was very dismissive. And he said that out in YouTube land, and there's recording, I just couldn't find it. So why did JFF train from pro license? Okay. Let me go back to that. So Joseph said, no, because it eliminates a good U223 coach or upcoming youth coach that has a great football philosophy, just like how Sims came out of nowhere. That's how, who came out of nowhere? I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that entails. Sylvester asks why they changed the pro license to A. It's a good question. Oh, no one says it was on I Am Sure Sports. Okay. So J. Ross said, on a bad mind, the man have a league coaching experience coaching the JPL, the top league in Jamaica. Well, the JPL is ranked 10th in this region and 100 and something in the world. So yeah, maybe it's a top league. Unless you expand the reach to be whatever. So let me say a couple of things. One is what we're going to do next. We're going to put in what I believe, got to spend some time looking at this, what the requirements should be versus what the requirements were. Because I think that is important, right? That's important. When you're doing the JFF coaching search, before, you got to remember, before, there was not going to be any coaching search, It was a done deal, The president wanted Rudolph to be the coach. He asked Rudolph to be the coach. And then there were pushbacks, right? Pushback came from various sources. Including the board. My understanding that the board voted and it was split down the middle as to whether or not Rudolph should be the coach. So they had to go back to the drawing board. So, I don't know stop it, So, them man, not get no foreign court for the next 4 years when them can package everything. We're not going to stop with no corruption. We're stay far from that. We're not doing anything there. Tough Rudy said, Kranky, this means nothing to me. Like you, I'm retired from the corporate world and I would normally post a job opening or they already decided who's getting the position. Yes, that happens sometime, right? Or sometimes state law requires you to do so. State law may require you to post it to the public and then you cannot post it and hide a little bit because you know we'll get the job. That happened, Tough Rudy. I agree with you. New Wave. Thanks a lot for the super chat, New Wave. Truly appreciate it. New Wave said, driving home from work, celebrating the Knicks victory. Why are you upsetting my drive? Could you provide a listing of the top CONCACAF coaches and their license notice requirements lowered to benefit Speid? Yeah, so New Wave, thanks for New Wave. Become a member to New Wave, the membership thing, New Wave, and sign up. But thanks for the super chat, New Wave, and safe drive home. So let me say this. What I'm going to do first is, in terms of the requirements of the role, I'm going to put up what they had, summarize, and some things that one should think about. Right? So here we go. So you have to go, please, let me do this. Let me take myself off. No. All right. So I put up what the JFF had, and then some things I think should be considered. So the first thing, coaching license. CONCACAF A license or internationally recognized equivalent. If you go through some of the things that I went through when I was doing my research here, A license and pro license, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, are not equivalent. Not in Asia, not in CONCACAF, and not in UEFA. They're not equivalent. They all have A license, so it's going to be equivalent. Like saying B and A are equivalent. There's no such thing. B and A are not equivalent, people. You have C license. That's like saying a C license and a B license equivalent, or a B and A equivalent. So A equivalent to pro. They're not equivalent. And I'm going to go through some of that. So here's the list that I have. So coaching license, highest level coaching license, pro license, preferred or required. If you coach a country, people, we don't know in Malta, which is a Malta license. We in Jamaica, if you have a pro license. Right? Think about number 2, which says provide proven elite coaching experience. What does that mean? Elite coaching experience is, as in my view, you have a documented success. You have to win title. You have to get promotion, qualification. You have to have measurable, tangible results to substantiate. And you know what? You have a proven track record, and therefore you should be getting the job. I don't know what I mean by elite coaching experience. What that mean? How you define elite? We need more specifics around it, so we know when we look on the resume or it match up. If you use them generalized comment, because you want somebody to get the role, of course it's all work for you. Exceptional leadership. We want senior coaching experience. You know, in the write-up it says about you have to have coaching experience. It doesn't say you have to be the head coach, you know. You have to have coaching experience. You need to have senior international experience, and to me, you need to be the head coach. No assistant. It doesn't say assistant can get the job, you know. But assistant have to have some kind of track record that we can say why we can leverage it. And to me, that person needs to have some experience in, say, for example, you think international competitions and tournaments. Unless they come with some pedigree. You know, like how the Spain coach who then pull from the junior team come through, because Spain have coaching philosophy and they have structure and standard and style of play. I can just plug and play people. We don't have that. The coach who come in need to can be a recruiter. It's an important to be the problem that Jamaica coaches have. Hagrimson tried to recruit and JFF was a stumbling block in him way because they need help. McLaren come tell us that those English boys should play for England. Like he was a spy or something. We need somebody can go out there, go grease palm, look at players, assess players, help set us a coaching structure, a recruiting structure, and bring in talent, whether local or international. Because sometimes you have some diamond in the rough that play locally and people can't recognize it. And a lot of times you have people overseas who are very young, as we see when Rudolph. I'm going to give Rudolph some credit for this. The one thing I applaud Rudolph on is that it looked like Rudolph, no care where you're born or where you come from, and just one of the best players. So that's a check in Rudolph's box. I don't hear nothing about, I know they say you should work with the technical committee, but I hear nothing about we talked about the coach being involved with the under-17 and the young team, them. I say nothing about like that in the requirements. Now, they maybe say it's embedded in the thing about working with the technical committee, but to me, those things should be explicit, so there's no ambiguity. We don't hear anything about a football philosophy and style of play. Where is that in the requirements? Where's there? Because and here's what's funny. I don't want to beat Rudolph, because I'm not on top of nobody, but McLaren came and told us that he was a modern coach. He's a modern failure. And then Rudolph said he's a possession coach. But I'm going to tell you the truth. Rudolph, I can't help myself Rudolph, but Cavaliers play kick and run football. I'm sorry, wrong. Cavalier play transition and counter-attacking football. That's the more technical term. And Rudolph is espousing the view about possession football, which I find really interesting. And here's my question for you, Rudolph. This I beat you now. If your philosophy, your style of play, if your objective is to play a possession football, why haven't you done that at the club level with Cavaliers? Now, I'm sure your comeback is going to be, I do what's necessary to win. But if you're a nationalist, like you say you're a nationalist, then as a nationalist, and you want to help the country, and you know a number of Cavalier players going to be in the national team, wouldn't you teach them and train them and guide them and so they can learn how to play position football, which then will matriculate into the national team, and there'd be no complaints about their matriculation because people will see their technical ability and believe they should be part of the program, so you can dumb down the conflicting. Wouldn't they do that, Rudolph? I don't understand. I'm confused. So football philosophy and style of play, we don't see none of that. We say we talk possession on football, but we don't know what that means. You possess the ball up to halfway line and then we lose it. As I mentioned before, you're not going to build no scouting network globally, because we are global people, you know. We migrate like nobody else, you know. We can't talk about Jamaica. Only dinosaur like Maverick and them man there. Still focus on local. Can't see be set behind him in blinkers them. Only them look man there. Don't know nothing about the world
outside of Jamaica, because they have celebrity of Jamaica, they don't know nothing about nothing else. They haven't been exposed to anything that's global, to anything that is material. They live in them little world, and they have them little clique people them, and that's how them live them life up. Like that no sense. And they believe in them walk on water. That little man boots them up. As I mentioned before, and this doesn't have to be in the requirement, but embedded in there someplace, which is we need a 4-year strategic plan at a minimum. Should be longer term, should be a 10-year plan. But embedded in that plan is a carve out for when we get to the World Cup 2030. We talked about sports science. I assume under sports science, they're talking about use of data and analytics to do performance. And I would say this about Rudolph. He's been doing that actually. That's why I'm leaving people like, some people don't like it, like whispering people. Like I said, they're not playing about. So Rudolph is doing some of this. Obviously, he's learning from, because what I actually doing to people, here's what the JFF did, which was really interesting. And I did the same thing, but a little more expansive. When you look at the coaching requirements for C, B, A, and Pro license, and you marry up with the requirement JFF has, those are some of the categories they have in their requirements for the role. Except then kind of dumb it down to fit who's in Jamaica. I did it, but expanded it somewhat to make it more global and something more elite versus what they had. All right? I won't go through the rest of this, but you can see what I'm talking about in terms of what the JFF has in the requirements and what I think they should have, or what is not clear, what is vague, right? So you can see me spend some time with them thing here. Now, as we move through the process of trying to identify the next coach for Jamaica, and as the JFF is trying to impart to us that they are also very focused on this, we should talk about the coaching requirements for the different licenses across the different regions. And here's why I'm doing this. So if we hear about the initial candidates today, right? As it relates to Speid, Coley, and they say about 4 local people that apply for the role. So I would assume, based on the local people who have applied, is that it'll be Rudolph Austin, it'll be Miguel Coley, because Coley never go with Speid. He's not going, I don't think he's going to South Africa game, or he went to London. So Coley want a job. You know, want to be penned as no second hand to Speid. So he come an assistant. You know, want a job. Right? So let's go to the licenses. The first question is, why a A license and not a mandated pro license? You know why? Because if they did, no local Jamaican coach apart from Coley would qualify. Right? And if you look at some of the requirements around this, you'd realize that pro license is very important. Pro license is a higher level than your A license. So let's pull up that I have here. We're going to do some license comparison. We're doing some licensing comparison, people. Right? This is license comparison. So look at the licenses. And I can widen the screen to see it. So Speid's license, the persons in Jamaica, CONCACAF, Trinidad is the one who administered the licensing in the Caribbean. I think Jamaica eventually do their own thing. They had gotten some official stamp from CONCACAF that their licensing sort of qualify under CONCACAF requirements. So their CONCACAF sort of A license type construct. Right? And what I did, let me pull it up, is that I tried to come up with the comparison between the different licenses from the different regions. Because I think that's important. I think that's very important, actually. So, if you look at the licenses, as I have on the screen, I have CONCACAF A license, I have Asia A license, I want to make sure we don't exclude Coley. I have UEFA Pro license, and then I have CONCACAF Pro license, which is new, by the way, people. CONCACAF Pro license is new. And by the way, at the current time, it's my understanding that FIFA doesn't require a pro license at this time. They require it by 2030. But most people are going to have coach national team as a pro license. So if you look at the requirements that I have on the screen of the various licenses, you will see that for CONCACAF A license, and the reason why I put A license there is because the JFF is saying A license are pro, and they did it because they want local coaches to apply, and they have in mind who they want to be the coach. So for CONCACAF A license, in terms of coaching experience, what they do in the licensing for football is you have practical experience and then you have classroom experience. So for example, you become a you get a B license, you have to spend some time in the practical field, document what you're doing, what you have done, and then you reconvene in the classroom, and then they can transition from one to the next if you satisfy the requirements. So say for example, in CONCACAF, for example, if you're A license, I put the wrong thing. Yeah, it's A license. You have minimum 12 months after you get the B license for the A license, right? Which makes a lot of sense, actually, if you think about it. So it's like a year. Even though I've heard some stories, I probably shouldn't repeat, but I've heard some people get to transition from one to the next without going through what I call the statutory time period that they need to go through. We have a minimum of 12 months as B license, get your A license. The A license normally used to cover elite youth level. Let me say this again. Elite youth level, amateur and senior football. And in Europe, they're pretty stringent about that, actually. That's why you see when Fabregas went to coach Como, he had to get a pro licensed person to oversee him because he didn't qualify to coach in Italian league with an A license. Now, in terms of if you look at all the coaching elements that inform coaching and the different categories, you have to be tactical. You have to be able to do match analysis. Some people are blowing up my phone, people. You have to be able to do match analysis. You have to be able to do demonstrate leadership in team environment. Everything you see, a lot of things you see in the JFF requirements, sports science, leadership, they pull a lot of those from the requirements you see as you go to the coaching criteria, and that's informs, but they dumb it down somewhat, or they make it very general when they have it out there. I don't know why somebody here is just blowing up my phone. Sorry, people. Anyway, I can't listen to that now. And then it has so if you look at the requirements there, for example, look at club management. So A license is limited. If you want to be a pro, it needs to be extensive across all the different. The pro license for all the different regions are very, very similar in what the requirements are. Even though, for example, it tells you in the first one, our coaching experience, that in Europe, in some countries, you transition from the A to pro over a 3-year period versus a 1-year period, right? So you have to have significant experience to get from A to pro. But it shows you there what you qualify for based on the license you have. And you can see that pro and A are not the same. Pro means you have to reach it's like pro is like having a PhD versus an MBA. Right? It's like that's similar. That's a concept. Pro is unique. Let me reply to this person. Give me 1 second, people. Pro is a more stringent requirement than for A or any other licenses. But across the 3 regions I have here, UEFA, Asia, or CONCACAF, they're very similar. And I said CONCACAF is pretty new in terms of the pro. But so of all the coaches so far that we've talked about locally, whether it's Austin or whether it's Rudolph, Speid, or whether it's Coley's the only one who sort of satisfied the requirements for a pro license. And you can see I have some names there. We're going to go through those names. So you can see there's a big difference between pro and what I consider to be A license. Now, let me say this. There are 5 people have come up with so far that I'm aware of that may be considered for the role. The names have been thrown about. Don't say Kranky said these people are going to be getting the role, are interviewed for the role, because I have no such information. I just pulled this out of a hat because I figured that given the football, given what I know, given where they are today in their careers, that these individuals may deem themselves to be having the requisite requirement for the job, and may want to pursue the job. Now, if you notice, look at my list, and I say you can blow it up. I have Rudolph Speid, I have Coley, I have Rudolph Austin, I have Paul Hall, even though it's a long shot, and I have Darren Moore. Now, everybody here, the last three, Rudolph Austin, Paul Hall, and Moore have all played for Jamaica, right? Speid has played for Cavaliers, and Coley was a footballer until he damaged himself. So look at what I have here for some of these people. Say, playing career, because as a footballer, it's important, right? All the analysts you see on TV normally are ex-players. There's a lot of experience you have as a player that informs how you become a coach. It's part of the process. Now, if we talk about highest playing level, you can see Coley and Speid local, Rudolph Austin playing championship, Paul Hall played championship, Premier League, and so did Darren Moore. And Darren Moore, in terms of coaching license, people have blown my phone today, boy. Right? It must have touched some nerve. In terms of license, Speid has A. My understanding is that Rudolph Austin has A. That's my understanding. I can't confirm it. Even though I did go through some source. Coley has Pro. It's my understanding that Paul Hall has Pro and Darren Moore has Pro. Now, the Paul Hall thing, I got it from some source, but I'm putting an asterisk beside it. But it says they both have Pro. In terms of clubs managed, Speid has managed Cavalier. They have won quite a bit. We'll touch upon that. Coley managed assistant manager for Enough Club. Can't go through all of them. Rudolph Austin just won the JPL with Portmore. Paul Hall was interim manager for the Jamaica national team and interim manager for QPR, but don't have a steady manager job. And then Darren Moore has managed a lot. Managing championship quite a bit. Managing League One. He's managed quite a bit. Was at Port Vale more recently. But he's out of work currently. In terms of international experience. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Very interesting in terms of international experience. I mean, I feel laugh when we go through this. By the way, people, we only have 100 likes now. Make it once. There are 162 people watching. Make the likes 162 people. So in terms of international experience, Rudolph Speid is now the interim coach, one of the longest interim coaching role you'll see. And Rudolph will tell you that his record is 4 asterisk and 1. What does that mean? He's won 4 games, so he played 2 local games. And I thought it was all done to get Rudolph some experience coaching internationally. He beat New Caledonia 1-0. He beat India 2-0. He didn't lose in regular time to DR Congo. Get that straight. Can I emphasize that? He didn't lose in regular time. So frankly, never really lose. Him losing extra time probably not count. And then he lost more to Nigeria, but as friendly game and some young kids him use, so he probably shouldn't do it. He probably 4-0. Them shouldn't judge him on that. Because somebody could pick name music to go play. So Rudolph has is batting a 66% record in his international career so far, one of the highest in Jamaica's history, by the way. If you take out the one last against Congo, that take him way up there. But 80% in my bat. Now, if you listen to Miguel Coley speak, I feel laugh. If you listen to Miguel Coley speak, I didn't have enough experience. I'm a pro license coach. But I heard him being interviewed on KLSF FM. And he talked about his experience with Schaefer. And I'm going to say this. If you didn't know anything, if you just came from Mars, you think Miguel Coley was the head coach of the team, the way he spoke. That's the way I interpret it. At some point, I think the interviewer sort of probed the question because he was saying sort of what he almost inferred that Schaefer was just an overseer and I him do things day to day. You guys can tell me if I'm exaggerating here. That's how I interpret the conversation. Now, I'm not sure if he was exaggerating or painting a picture to demonstrate or show his qualification for the role, That's the way it came across to me. So he's saying that even though when they went to the Gold Cup final, he was a main component of that coaching staff and probably was the one running things, but Schaefer did their oversee thing. That's what we get from it, but let me just be me. But he has a pro license, right? And he's won a lot of high school football competition in Jamaica. That, to me, not qualify for international coach for Jamaica. Rudolph Austin have a lot of playing experience, playing at a high level, over 80 caps for Jamaica. And he's now one with Portmore. Shows that he's an up-and-coming young coach with ability. He beat all the previous coach of Jamaica in Whitmore and beat Rudolph. So him showing ability, and he probably do it with less resources, by the way. You now have Cavalier money, and probably not have Montego Bay United money, and I have Mount Pleasant money. Now, Paul Hall, who unfortunately made a bad decision of going against the JFF when they had the dispute in the previous to last World Cup campaign, and he paid the price. Right? Former Reggae head boy, was interim coach when Whitmore stepped down or was dismissed. So he's also part of the list they talk about a lot, but they say, want to live at Florida and you have to live at Jamaica. And then Darren Moore was coached a lot of different teams, actually. And is my understanding may be interested in the job. Now, in terms of major achievements, and this is important, Speid has won 3 JPL champions. He's been Caribbean champion. And I have there developed a number of national players, which is true. You can put develop where you want to put it. Coley has 5 Manning Cup, and I think 5 Oliver Shield, maybe exaggerated. He has Caribbean Cup winner as an assistant, Gold Cup final as an assistant. And he's done a lot, and he's coached in Asia, even though he hasn't talked about any accomplishment in Asia. I find that interesting, actually. When I hear him now head coaching job in Asia, I'm going to hear him win nothing in Asia, which is interesting. Depends staff. So if you think you qualify to coach Jamaica, but you're in some not African league, sad league, I'm going to see you ahead of nothing. It does beg some question. Even though he should be commended for going outside Jamaica and taking the risk to get his pro license, and also not being, as I always say, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. Rudolph Austin, less impressive resume, but also more impressive resume. What does I mean by that? Meaning, doesn't have the same Caribbean exposure and winning multiple championship, but shows that he's now coach of the under-20, who are doing really well. He's also coached Portmore to the JPL title. And he's shown that he has a lot of international experience, which counts for a lot when it comes to this. But he may be a long shot. Paul Hall does have deemed to be good recruiting ability and a pro license and involved in football at a very senior level. But he's also a very long shot. And then Darren Moore has a long resume. Now, long doesn't necessarily mean excellent, but he's a long resume. He's coached some good clubs. He's well regarded. He has a Jamaica affiliation. He's won EFL Manager of the Month. He's won multiple EFL playoff game. He got promotion to championship, which is every Wednesday. He has a decent resume. And then last but not least, in terms of trophies won, Speid have enough from JPL, Caribbean. Coley have schoolboy, but this is not schoolboy football. Rudolph has one. Paul Hall have none. And we're not saying on trophy with more, but he can get promoted with Sheffield Wednesday, right? So if I was to rank the coaches, can we do my own ranking of people? I do my own ranking. I had Darren Moore 1, and don't beat me for this, Miguel Coley 2. We have Miguel Coley and Speid tie, but because Coley had international experience, I'm not tainted with what transpired with the World Cup qualification. Him 2, then Austin 4, and Paul all down the list. So that was my list of the coaches, the licenses, where they manage their qualifications. Now, I would hope that the JFF, there is John Herdman. No, I only put some, so I was very careful with what I put up there now. I put people who have a certain persuasion on the board. I get myself in that trouble, you know. I only put people of certain persuasion, given what I deem to be direction of travel for the JFF. So read that into that what you may. Right? Read that into that what you mean. I only put people, I said again, only certain persuasion, certain affiliation, certain association in my coaching assessment. I didn't go out of my little comfort zone. Now I would say this to the JFF, that if you truly want the best candidate for the job, I think you should increase. Lord, it's going to be a difficult conversation. I think you should increase the timeline for responses. Good evening. Good evening. Hello? Hello?
Kranky.
Yes.
Oh,
You tell me you're not coming through good, but go ahead.
are you hearing me now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yes.
Okay. You're doing a show later?
I'm doing a show right now. You're on. You're on live. You're on live, by the way.
I'm on live. Okay, fine. Thank you very much, man.
I should tell you said later about doing it. I've messed up.
So you
Should I tell you later?
could've
Come 8 o'clock. Come 8 o'clock. Go on. The floor is yours. Go on. Because people say 8 o'clock. I show you now. Call back 8 o'clock. Call back 8 o'clock. Call back.
No, that's the time for the Knicks.
No, the Knicks play tomorrow. You have to follow the basketball. Knicks play tomorrow. They don't play today. But anyway, go ahead.
No, man, but it's tomorrow. Congratulations on your Knicks. I'm not about.
Yeah, them Knicks game last night. Knicks game.
Mm.
So go ahead.
Good game.
Huh?
So actually calling about two things. One.
By the way, before we start talk, don't read the conversation. We're talking about the JFF's requirements for applicants for the head coaching. That's what we're talking about today. That's the topic for conversation.
Okay, I saw the application.
Right. So that's what we're talking about.
You mean the application for self-employment?
Well, if that's what you want to label it as, then that's your prerogative. That's not mine. That's Cataract's perspective.
So I sent you some texts, and I'd like to read for you. Simple, quick.
Okay.
Are you aware for A license is one level, or A license is one level below a pro license?
Yeah, break up now. Cataract is having some problem. He didn't pay his phone bill. Cataract, they didn't hear you. Your phone is breaking up. No. Cataract, I have done a board, Cataract. I have done a board in terms of the different licenses. All right, I had it on the board anyway.
So, can coach up to 18 reserve teams and second-tier clubs, which means that you are nowhere near a men's first team. And second-tier clubs meaning none.
Well, that's UEFA. That's UEFA though. Everybody have their own requirements. That's UEFA's.
No. That's what an A license is.
No, but I'm saying that's what UEFA has for A license. Doesn't mean that your organization, your confederation have the same construct, right? But they're normally similar. They're normally pretty similar.
It's similar around the world.
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
You have the CAF, that's the African people. You have the one down in South America, A license, pro license.
Yeah, but you know that FIFA doesn't mandate pro license at the current moment, right? They think 2030 they're going to require it for international, for coaching international. Yeah.
Okay, because the issue is you are taking people's players who are professional, and then you are expected to manage and handle them in the same professional way and professional level and return them to their clubs. That's why people don't want you to have C license and D license and B license, whatever you want to have. Because I'm presupposing there are things about recovery, things about injury management, things about game management. I'm supposing that a club is expecting you to be able to execute with their asset.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that A license doesn't have the A license. Have some of those things, it's just the pro license is a different level, right? There is if you look through the requirements and the roles for each of the different licensing level, there are some overlaps there. It's just some more extensive than others. So there's no overlap
So the
there.
pro
But pro and
license
A are not the
means-
same.
No, they're not. Pro means that you have spent time at a professional club, meaning you would have done what you call it now? It's not a practical. Or
Well,
whatever,
all these
but
people
you
have
would
spent time at a professional club. You mean managing professional club?
Who?
All these people I have on the list.
they
I have
don't
5
manage
on the
the
list.
club. Oh, you have 5? No, I'm not getting to the personalities yet. I'm
Okay,
just
you're
getting
talking about the
to
requirements. Okay.
the
Yeah.
requirements.
Yeah.
I'm saying when you have an A license, you can manage a professional club. You go in there and you work as part of the team, and you get a certain number of hours or days of experience. That is part of the requirement for a pro license that you manage in a professional environment. The second thing I'll try to be quick. The requirement for you to have managed a professional club. That's there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have something to say. And I am talking directly. Cavaliers is not a professional club. It's a semi-professional club. The Jamaica Football League, JPL, is a semi-professional league. So anybody who's coaching in the JPL, and that's the extent of their experience, would not meet that particular requirement.
Well, look, anybody can do what they want to do, right?
No. I hope you're not become a Speid apologist.
I'm just telling you that anybody can do what they want to do. I mean,
No, I'm saying
they find a way to work around. They have workarounds.
Do you agree that the JPL is a semi-professional league, and therefore any coach whose experience only extends within the JPL would not make that requirement?
That's an interesting one. Because what you're saying is that nobody coaching JPL can have a pro license.
No, they can't have a pro license. I'm saying they can't apply for this job because
No, you're saying they
the
can't.
requirement.
No, you're saying they can't have a pro license. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
No, they can't.
No, don't say that. That's not what you. That's what you're saying. Now the question. The question. The question.
Club, then they never have a gym.
No,
Some
but the
they
question
have a
is,
gym.
how does one define a professional club? That's the question I'm asking.
Club.
Huh?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Stan Kranky. I'm glad you asked. This is like the great debate. I was so motivated to research everything. A professional club is a club that hires players on a full-time professional contract. And the players, the staff, have no other job except the job that they have full-time. So they're not lifting steel and lumber out at what the place name again? The place on Malines Road where Tuffy Anderson used to work, where me literally see Tuffy Anderson come and give me some cement and thing, and then say, so yeah, I drop down a stage on my father. And I say, jump in. And me and Tuffy and yeah. That's the reality. That our top goal scorer in the league was working at a hardware in the day and then going to national training and still performing better than he could find the goal better than a lot of these players who are here now. Big up Jeremy and Tuffy Anderson, big up Ray Nelson, big up Luton Shelton, some of the really class strikers to come out of Jamaica. You know what I mean?
By the way, people, please hit the like button. Please, if you're here in the chat, please hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Go ahead.
Come with that foolishness. But manners, man. Just hit the like button when you come in. Hit the like button if you don't like cataract. But that's the truth.
Then I get 180 likes. Well, go on. The floor is yours.
No, but I'm asking you, I'm saying to you, do you agree that that's the definition of a professional club?
Yeah, but so I'm going to say this, which is I don't agree with the fundamental thesaurus definition, but you have to make allowances in certain environments for certain things. So I'll give an example. I'll give an example. So Cavaliers plays in the CONCACAF competition in the last 16, right? Right? They play in the last 16, correct? They play against all professional teams. I know sometimes amateur teams play against professional, but they've been doing this for years. They make money. They play in stadiums. Their players get paid. Now, I would say the level of the compensation probably leaves a lot to be desired. And you're right. They don't have full. It's not a traditional full-time job where the club sort of owns your right exclusively and pay you well and all that stuff. That's not. Yeah, it's almost like a hybrid versus the sort of traditional pro versus amateur.
No, it's not hybrid. It's what's called a semi-professional league. And Kranky, you and I grew up.
But that's a semi is a hybrid.
Stop that. Hold on. When you drop into the National League, you have two types of clubs. You have professional clubs who have been relegated from the pyramid, right?
Yeah.
From the football league, what's called the football league. And then you go now into the National League.
Yes.
You also have clubs that are what's called semi-professionals. You work as a builder, you work as a roofer, you
fix AC
during the day, and you come and you play. You train one time per day. You can't. Most professional clubs, you train twice per day.
Right.
Most professional clubs, you train twice per day. And then during the day, you do your, what you may call it now, your video room, and you look back at your games and your preparation. That's the life of a professional footballer. Right?
Yeah.
Anthony Grant, for example, is now a semi-professional, semi-pro. He plays in.
I still want him to play for Jamaica, but go ahead.
Semi-pro club. No, I don't want him to play for Jamaica. But I don't want him to play for Jamaica. My man's relaxing on the North Coast. But I'm telling you, if he was in England, I would have told him to go show up and help stop our midfield, because I'm sure that he would not do like Ming, who ran towards a man and said, "Bombard, Manela strike now, Manela this," and turned around and backpedal. I have never seen anything like it before.
Keterak, stay on point. Don't stray. Stay on point. Don't go off on a tangent.
That last goal, you played the money to go wrong, right? So I'm just saying that Cavaliers is semi-professional club. It's not a professional club, and therefore, Mr. Speid does not meet the minimum requirements. No, I suspect.
No, the minimum requirement. No. We have to be very careful of that. He meets the requirements are written for him, so he meets the requirement that stand right now. They're written for him. Let's be honest. The JFF requirements are written for Rudolph, even though they came from the requirement. The requirements. Let me rephrase that. The requirements came from what you would require from an A licensed coach, for example, right? And some aspects of the pro licensed coach. And they took those requirements as what they require for coaches, and Rudolph meet those requirements currently.
No, I'm saying
he meets the minimum qualification requirements.
No, he does not.
In what they have, he meets them. In what they have in the requirements for the job, he meets them. No, stop that. I'm telling you, he meets the requirements that they have right now.
Club. He has never coached a professional club. Tell me which professional club he's coached.
He's coached the national team. Forget about a professional club. He's coached the national team. Hold
on, man.
He's coached a professional. He's coached the Jamaica football team. Huh?
Jesus Christ.
He's coached the Jamaica football team, hasn't he?
Yes, he meets that one.
Okay. They had three. Keterak, go get a good food, man. Keterak. They had three minimum requirements. Keterak, 3 minimum requirements. You have an CONCACAF A license, or equivalent UEFA Pro or A,
which has been downgraded.
He meets the CONCACAF A license, right? The 3 requirements.
Yes, he does.
Does a proven track record of elite coaching experience? It depends how you want to define elite. Preferable with senior national team. Listen now. Preferable with senior national teams or top-tier professional clubs. He meets the senior national team element. And then exceptional leadership, strategic planning, tactical acumen, communication skills. He meets the minimum requirements. I know what you're protesting. How you be able to meet the requirements are written for you? So if you write something about Keterak, then they must meet Keterak, must meet the requirements. Huh? That don't make no sense, Keterak. If I wrote it for you, you must meet the requirements. You know what you say?
But then you must also remember that Mr. Speid does not apply. Mr. Speid does not apply for any job.
That's a great point.
Like, that's what he said.
Well, he's not applying. He's already in the mix. He's the interim coach right now. He's not applying. He's telling me I want the job. I'm not applying for the job.
No. It's slippery start. Slippery start. Mr. Speid said on multiple occasions.
Yes, he did say that.
Speed law. Your client said on multiple occasions he does not apply for any job.
The chat saying, wait, it was man side people. No, people, please think for yourself. Kranky, you're making a coach argument for Speid. I'm making an argument for anybody. I'm telling you what the requirements are and if he meets the requirements or not. Coley meets the requirement. Speid meets the requirement. Coley meets the requirement. The requirements were written for local coaches. Not only Speid and Coley alone, for almost any local coach. They've written the requirements for any local coach who has any resume.
Coach in national team.
Well, no, but Coley was part of the national coach. They didn't say head coach, you know. Coley was part of the national training program. Now, Rudolph Austin may not have been part of the national senior men's team. He's coaching the junior team. So he may be one who doesn't really have the full qualification. But sometimes people make allowance for that. Me not advocate for nobody. Not advocate for nobody. Just like giving the facts.
All right. So let's jump around. So this semi-professional coach, what do you define as elite?
I don't know. I have no idea what elite means.
I see why they need to give him an interim contract.
Now the question is elite in the wait. Is the elite in the context of Jamaica? Right? Or is elite global? Is it elite local or global? Doesn't say.
Elite is global, man. Come on, Kranky.
No, but I'm just saying, I don't know how these people are thinking. They think very parochial. They think very local. If
you said the top tier, then you could say that's.
But it doesn't matter as it relates to Coley. It doesn't matter if Coley and Speid are the two candidates that they want, one of them. It doesn't matter because they qualified it by saying preferable with senior national teams or top tier professional clubs. So the senior national team automatically qualifies Speid and Coley. Automatically.
Okay, wonderful.
It's very thoughtful. It was written to make sure certain people meet the qualification. It didn't actually be head coach of the national team, It says.
But what you have not?
Yeah, go ahead.
But he's a head coach. He's an interim manager.
He's the interim head coach.
No, man.
He's the interim head coach.
Interim. Yeah, man. That means you don't fulfill the thing. You're interim.
When you write the resume, so you work as a consultant on a job, employ full time. You work as a consultant. You put your resume, but you're a consultant. You do XYZ. Same thing. If you manage 6 games, you're the head coach. But the interim one that they are not.
You're an auditor.
Take out the interim. Where you have. Take everything out the interim. Where you have. Head coach.
Right.
Head coach.
Kranky, I'd like to speak to the auditor of one.
Yes. Okay. Go on. Let me put on my auditor hat. I heard I was not that good an auditor, but anyway, keep going.
Am I speaking to that person? Retired.
Yes.
If somebody acts in a position, which is what the interim is.
Repeat that question.
You were asked. Hold on now. If you were asked to audit a hiring process,
mm-hmm.
and in that process, the person selected simply acted in a capacity for a 1 month and 1 week period, 6 weeks, would you take that to mean that person has the experience?
So as an auditor, let me go very deep.
Yes.
The person's experience is longer than 6 weeks. Person was named interim coach December 15th. They resigned at the end of March after they lost to DR Congo. They then got back into the role. So they went from December 15th to end of March. So that's 3.5 months. Then they were named interim coach for the games in the UK for the Cup. That's another 2 months. Wait, you asked me a question. I'm giving you an answer. I'm giving an answer. Hey, people. May I help with people? May I help you? No get to the on people. May I help you? You know, because none of those things like Kranky a pick side. May I help you? No, if you think one of them things here, so they can. Well, you may do. May I front run the conversation that we had going forward. That's what may I do. May I help you? No, may I front run the conversation so they can negate some of the arguments going to be made for certain things. If you don't realize that, I tell no explicit what I do. Kind of things I support X, Y, Z. I not support nobody. I try to front run the conversation. All right? Because me hear some of the arguments before. Me hear the arguments then about some first. I try front on them for now. So it's about almost 6 months that the person is in the role as interim coach, and they have a 4.5 record. Four wins, 1 loss, and 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 asterisk.
No. 4 wins.
1 loss and 1 asterisk. That's what the person. But tell you what's been said in the public domain.
There's no asterisk because okay, let me ask you what the asterisk. Has Arsenal got an asterisk against their Champions League victory? Them lose that.
Well, Arsenal admit it, but not everybody admits it.
Final whistle.
Yeah, Arteta admit it, but not everybody admit it. And everybody I see him. Arteta don't make no excuse. Him say him lose and go in yard. Right? That's what Arteta has done. So anyway, let's keep going. So people, don't come say Kranky and make a case. Somebody just ask that chat, say me will be the PR person for Rudolph. What on the stage of people? Why don't you listen 2 sides to every story? Listen 2 sides to every story, you know? Lord, go ahead. I'm not PR for nobody.
You're not the PR person. I am looking. I'm gonna ask you to send you a new resume, and I expect to see after senior auditor. You're senior auditor, right? You're not just a regular auditor. You're a senior auditor.
No, I'm not a senior auditor. That's low level. I'm a managing director.
A managing director. Okay,
yes.
Managing director.
Yes.
Retired.
Yes.
Retired.
Yes. No, senior auditor.
I expect to see another bullet point that says company Speid law. Publicist, strategist, and
so let me ask that question. So all of you who say I'm here promoting Rudolph Speid. So wait. How come we can't get an interview with Rudolph Speid? How come we can't get an interview? If I'm a PR person.
Because that's conflict of interest. That's conflict of interest.
What? No.
Conflict of interest.
No. If I'm his PR person. No. Back. If I'm his PR person.
You cannot interview your boss. You can't interview your boss.
No, you do interview your boss. That's what you do. You interview your boss, of course. And you prepare the question, then we'll ask him. You prepare the question, we'll ask him. Prepare them.
But seriously though, I'm interested to hear what you say. So you're saying that the interim doesn't matter on the something there.
Look, there have been a lot of interim coaches who have gotten head coaching jobs, right? A lot of interim coaches who have taken over full time based on how they perform. He has a 4-2 record, so he can always, your man told him record. He can get in a smart enough, he get 2 subs first, and he win the 2 subs.
The 4 wins are against teams rated about 500.
It doesn't matter. Jamaica draw with Jamaica barely beat BV.
500.
Wait.
You know what? Kranky, let me say one thing before I ask you. The only surprise Cataract, aka Ohidi Blake, who was in the Sunday Gleaner as a revered selector.
Here we go. Yes, you sent it to me. Yeah, you sent it to me. Say Gleaner, recognize it.
The only thing that surprised me, Kranky, is that Jamaica didn't play against the Vatican.
I think the Pope was busy. I write about AI.
There you go. We could not have selected more minnow teams to boost the record. You have to call these things out for what they are. They spent money to play 2 Caribbean teams to give the opportunity to say he has a 2-0 record. Wasting money because none of those players featured in the critical games against New Caledonia and DR Congo. None of them. And then we have no money to pay the reggae girls get ticket to get to Panama. We could have selected an interim coach based in England. You have Dean Burton, who is part of the program. Yeah, let me just go who's part of the program. You have Dean Burton, who is part of the program, part of the setup. Dean Burton live in England. You could have given Dean Burton that and saved £2,000 worth of.
Let's stay upon linear thinking.
I'm just saying to you, the JFF has been spending money to boost the resume of Rudolph Speid. Yes, Speed Law, I said it. Good. It's my opinion.
But Cataract, you're not objective in your thinking about Rudolph. You're not like Kranky, who's very objective.
If you don't have money to pay for a team that is trying to,
I would agree with that.
And you are taking those valuable resources to fly the Cavaliers head coach and a number of his players and former players across the ocean that could pay several of the tickets for the girls. I just say, if the Unity Cup was about finding, unearthing young talent, Dean Burton is an under-23 coach at West Brom, vast experience. You could have given him the 1-month contract. Saved a bunch of money.
I don't know how much money you would have saved per se.
You certainly would have saved on airfare.
Yeah, you would have saved on airfare, yeah. No, look. The JFF the JFF is going a certain direction, whether we like it or not.
Come.
I don't know why they open up the coaching. They open the role in terms of trying to pursue other candidates. I assume the board is split, and therefore the board decided that they want to see other candidates who may qualify. They have set the bar very low in terms of minimum qualification. They've established a construct whereby now they can have their candidates pursue the role. I know Rudolph is very interested. He's said it explicitly. He's interested. I think Cole is interested. That's why he probably pulled himself away from Rudolph. And I'm sure there are others. I heard someone tell me earlier that the gentleman who was at Arsenal Academy, I think he's also what was his name?
Michael Donaldson.
Yeah. His name is
assistant?
Michael Johnson. Yeah, he's also going to apply.
No, Michael Johnson was not at Arsenal Academy.
No, not Michael Johnson. Not the guy who was there. Michael Johnson, who used to play for Jamaica, right? He's also applied.
Yeah.
He also applied.
Different.
Also applied.
He was the former head coach of Guyana.
Yeah, he also applied. I'm conflating him with Donaldson, but he also applied. So, there are a few people. They said they had 4 applications before, way back when. So maybe this will open up to more people. I don't know. I heard Darren Moore was interested. I don't know if he applied, actually. I heard he was interested, and he's out of work.
Darren Moore, we are calling you, Darren Moore. We are calling on you, Darren Moore. Jamaica is calling on you.
But as we know, people, here's another thing, too, we got to be considering. So here's where I get beaten again. Anybody comes in would have to be able to work with the JFF. That's a big challenge. That's difficult. Those relationships have not. JFF can't work with nobody, it doesn't look like. They never work. I mean, Tapa put up with a lot. It was challenging for Tapa. Hagrimson runway. McLaren runway. Rudolph maybe can manage them because Rudolph know them. Should Rudolph be the head coach? That's for you guys to decide. Should Coley be the head coach? That's for you guys to decide. Well, not for you to decide, for you to provide your perspective. The board will decide. And the question is, where's the board on who should assume the role? And why are we just putting out the requirements to the general public about it being open and we're in June? Why don't we do that previously? And then Rudolph Speid said years before that he has a Rolodex of a listing of all these persons who will be interested in the job and who wants to apply. Are we truly putting out to the public, to people to apply, or are we just doing it as form of a substance? Right? It's pretty widespread in terms of now they're saying you can apply. You have what? 20-something days to apply for the role. I would have thought they would have contacted some individuals. Maybe they have. along with a general request to get people to input their resume to apply.
They're not contact nobody. They're not contact Olegola Solskjaer. They're not contact nobody.
Someone said they can't pay Darren Moore. I don't know what Darren Moore needs in terms of compensation. I would say the JFF also is crying that they have no money. Right? And the girls in Panama are playing, by the way, I think the girls play tomorrow, right? They have 2 games against Panama, and then Jamaica plays Saturday against South Africa. And I'm sure those games will be shown on JFF Live channel. So support the channel. JFF need money. Support the channel. Cost less than $10 a month.
How you mean that they don't? Hold on. You're saying they can't afford to pay Darren Moore. That is what you call rhetoric.
I don't know. I'm saying, can they? I don't know. Somebody's asking the question, not me.
No, but just as I said, that is the rhetoric that they use. Just like they say they couldn't pay to fly down English players to play in the Caribbean.
Oh, by the way, people, I should put that up. By the way, I should say this, that the South Africa game is on, right? And I just put on the screen the players that are in the squad for South Africa game. I think I have them right. Let me just check and confirm the listing that I have here.
We never get that team something. We never get that team at Ratty.
What? You haven't gotten a what?
Team list or whatever. Come on, bro.
The list came out.
We gotten a squad release. When did the list come out?
This came out today.
Oh,
I have it on the stream. Wait, I think I'm missing somebody here.
Okay.
No. Kyle, I'm missing some players, people. I'm missing Kyle Ming. I don't know, my list messed up. I'm missing Kyle Ming as one of the defenders. I'm missing a few players. I'm missing Kyle Ming. Should be on there. Just check. I'm missing Kyle Ming, maybe Kahim, Dwayne, Trevante, Jajan Brown. Yeah, Kyle Ming should be there too. I'm missing Kyle Ming. That's the one I'm missing. I was missing somebody.
Can you properly read out the list, please? So
the list of players who are in the squad for the South Africa game, and they're mainly locally based players, apart from a couple who from England. Connor Boyce Clark and Tafari Chambers are the goalkeepers.
Sorry, can I just say something? I noticed that the last few squads that come out, people don't bother to put the club that the players are associated with.
Yeah, well, I got a list, so I'm just reading the list. Defenders are Christopher Ainsworth, Ronaldo Webster,
formerly of Cavalier,
Richard King, Giovanni Lang,
of Cavalier,
of
Cavalier,
Kyle Ming, John Bell
of Cavalier.
John Bell hasn't played for a while.
Cavalier.
Robina Gordon, Tariq Zimenez. That's all the defenders. I'm missing Kyle Ming from the list. In the midfield, Adrian Reed,
Cavalier.
Brandon Cover,
hopefully never at Cavalier.
Nikela Hellis, Dwight Merrick
from Racing.
Dwight Merrick, Manteca United.
I don't know what Dwight Merrick play for.
Manteca Bay United.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And Courtney Clark, who's that?
Walter.
Yeah, and he was brilliant in the Unity Cup. And then forwards, Kahim Dixon,
Charlton, formerly of Arctic Garden.
Dwayne Atkinson.
Failed every time he has been given a senior jersey.
Jersey again. Trevante Stewart, who we've been hearing about forever, finally get a call up. He must have been on vacation from Israel. Trevante Stewart is in the squad, people. Dejan Brown, who played in the Unity Cup also. Nikelia Fuller, Corey Bennett, and Ronaldo Robinson. So
Corey Bennett? I thought he was not Corey Burke.
No, it's not Corey Burke. So let me just say this, people. For all of those people in Jamaica who have been anti-diaspora, like Maverick, you have a chance now with almost a locally based team, locally born team to play against South Africa. And I think that we should bench Connor Boyce Clark, we should bench Brandon Cover, and we should bench Dejan Brown, and we should bench, who else? Courtney Clark. We should start Adrian Reed, Nicola Ellis, and Merrick in the midfield. We should play Kahim Dixon, Javante Stewart, and Nicola Fuller up front. In the defense, we should have Richard King, Kyle Ming, Ronaldo Webster, and Jimenez, and Tafari Chambers, the goalkeeper. So then it's an all locally born team. There should be no complaints about this being too much diaspora people in the team. So Maverick, you get what you want. You have a mainly locally born team, and that should be the team I would think going forward. That's how it should work. Totally support that. So Rudolph, you're doing a good job. Now I would assume, this is gonna be really bad on my part, that the reason why we have this litany of locally born players, or this volume, I should say, litany sounds bad, is that a lot of two things. We didn't have the money to carry out them players from England, or a lot of them were on vacation and couldn't come. One or two.
So there's something I want to say to you, right? And I check this out.
By the way, for those the locally born team that plays Cameroon, it wasn't Cameroon national team with all its best players. South Africa's at the Gold Cup is going to be their best players. So don't get it conflated and confused. Go ahead.
Right.
It's a whole different story. It's a locally born team against the South African national team, not some pickup team from back home that's local league players. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kata.
Yeah, Kranky. Big up the man self, big up the eye self. I want you to look up the cost of a plane ticket from London to Mexico City versus the cost of Jamaica to Mexico City.
It depends. Do you have straight flight?
Of course.
From Jamaica to Mexico?
Yeah.
You do?
No, there's no straight flight.
I was going to say, there's no such thing.
Of course not. You have to fly through Panama, and not for them on a visa. But just look at the cost of a ticket. A flight from Jamaica to Mexico, Kingston, from Montego Bay to Mexico, and from London to Mexico. You'll be surprised to know, for those who say they have no money, that it is cheaper. Cheaper.
No, that's not what it says here. It says a flight from Mexico to Jamaica generally cheaper and shorter, starting around 4,600 round trip. In contrast, a flight from London, Mexico is significantly more expensive, typically ranging from 800 to 1,300 due to the longer transatlantic distance, blah, 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 blah. So it depends. It depends. It's a general state. It depends. I don't think it'd be cheaper, because you can buy some cheap fly go here, something like that. It should be cheaper from Jamaica to Mexico.
You can buy cheap flights from London. The tour flight. You can fly Ryanair. Kingston going to Mexico City today.
I want a locally born team to play. I think those kids should be given an opportunity. And I think they should bench the guys who are in the diaspora. I think that's what they should do. I'm totally supporting that.
I don't want to bungle and say. I don't say it honestly, I don't really care.
You do what?
I don't really care.
Now I think Whisper should follow. I think Whisper should follow Kaheem Dixon's strategy, which is when you get called up, you go play. Achieve nothing in football if you don't play. Isn't Whisper out of contract this year? Way more play next. That's an interesting one. That's a very interesting one. But I cataract me, I almost finished right now. Me there for about 2 hours now.
So you can fly.
Huh? You do what?
11 hours. 11 hours of the round trip, and you arrive 1 a.m.
Well, first of all, you gotta be very careful when you check these things, because players aren't gonna fly any old time and day, right? So the fear that you are trying to propose or consider may not be applicable, because it may be that the players will not fly at a very convenient time, and not because of cheapest fear and be put in the back of the plane and all them nonsense.
Lands you at 1 a.m. and lands you at 1 a.m. and have you make an 11-hour stopover in Panama City.
Yeah, players don't want to do that. Players want a straight flight. They want a straight flight.
Well, there's no straight flight from Jamaica to Mexico.
No, I'm talking about from Mexico to the UK to Mexico. I'm not sure they have a straight flight either. Do they have straight flight from the UK to Mexico? I'm not sure about that. Maybe you fly to a U.S. city,
Of
but then
course.
again, as you said, you may not have the requisite document to temporarily stop over in the U.S. So who knows?
England. We go England to Mexico.
All right,
Yeah, man,
Cataract. No, let us show up here and look up them thing there. The fact of the matter is, Cataract, we
Right.
would agree that the financial
So this
situation of
team
JFF
here,
is not ideal. But the team they have here
this team
is a
here,
locally born team. Apart from Kanaya and Cover and Clark and Brown, that's it. The locally born team. I think that's the list. So the locally born players will get an opportunity to play against a very good team.
Kanaya, Cover, Courtney Clark, and
Dejan Brown.
Brown. But Brown is at Derby City still?
Yeah, I think so.
He used to be at Derby City. Is it Brown?
But he has also, it's interesting, he has Cover listed in midfield. Cover played right back. He can play midfield, we know that, but he played right back during the Unity Cup. So, very versatile player.
I'd like.
And I heard
would
Cover's
like,
interview. Cover said when the national team call him, he might play. So we want to hear Cover. When national team call him, I turn up. That's what him say.
No, Brandon Cover is as Jamaican as they come. And I think he's one of the players that have been most hard done by. Because when you remember that CAC under 23 team that went there, Brandon Cover was the player of the tournament for Jamaica. Played in the midfield double pivot with my boy there from Mount Pleasant, aka Mr. Red Card. Her name again? God have mercy.
I don't know.
That's Sean Anglin.
Oh. I'm surprised Anglin. You know what? Rudolph ban Anglin for good. Because Anglin went late for some game. Anglin was part of the squad before now. Anglin not being here says a lot, doesn't it? Remember Anglin was late for training or something? He hasn't seen the national team again. So Rudolph, I use him as an example.
Yeah, still a Derby County player. He was on loan at Port Vale.
So Jeremy Johnson says, if a team dominates a league for the past few years, is that the players are good or is that the coach is good? It could be both. It could be either. I don't know. You guys can tell me more who cover Jamaica football. Is it Rudolph? It must be Rudolph Speid because you keep changing players. So it has to be the coach. And Cataract, a call is coming in, Cataract. You got to go, Cataract. You've been on long enough.
Yeah, man, big up. Make another call coming.
Yeah,
that's not forward.
433, long time. How are you doing?
Kranky, big up yourself.
Hey, what else?
Boy, man, I really keep in tune with the football since recently because.
What happened? You got a job?
Yeah, I'm work late night, so.
Work late nights?
Yeah, man, I come off work some 10 o'clock and thing, you know?
Oh.
So by the time they have the show and them thing there, depending on the day, I can't get to watch the game, them, you know?
Okay.
But things like them can watch the game still, but I mean, not much to say in a Kranky because, you know, if England or some of these teams did fail to qualify for a World Cup, the media they wouldn't be having it, you know.
The media would destroy everybody involved. They destroy the players, destroy the coach, destroy the administration. It'd be like Italy, where Italy asks everybody to resign.
Right now, I see some recent articles from Observer and I say, them people and Speid, them must be friends because the way them dress it up is like, me even hear people are trolling and I say, Reggae Boyz turning a warm-up team, you know?
Yeah.
Like, when people can make a statement that teams are lining up to play Jamaica before them go to the World Cup, I mean, you just can't say that after you fail, Kranky. Like, you can't say that, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that is just inexcusable. It's a sin almost, to be honest. After you literally just failed to qualify. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, in terms of the Unity Cup, I never watched the game, them one thing, but...
You didn't watch any of the games?
No, I never watched any game, them.
We found a couple players. Brandon Cover played well. Courtney Clark played well. Ming played well. Who?
But I mean, I think in some sense, this only makes sense unless Speid is going to be the coach because I heard him on the radio and he said that this is kind of like them preparing for the Nations League, right? That's coming up. But what better way to prepare than to have somebody that you potentially see as the full-time coach, or somebody that you would already hire as the full-time coach to have those 3 games in a sense, you know?
Maybe he's been hired already as a full-time coach.
Yeah, probably, you know, in terms of just like looking at the new player then, because eventually we have a lot of players that we need to make some tough calls and to kind of like fade out. Not to fade out because we don't rate them or so, but you know, football is a evolving sport in terms of moving around people and just wanting something fresh and new. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
in my assumption, I think to some degree he is the full-time coach. And I mean, even with the JFF posting this thing, I mean, didn't they say a couple months ago or weeks that in June they would make a decision on the full-time coach?
Yes, but they keep pushing it back.
Right?
I think they're having some inside challenges where people may be pushing back. So they keep moving the dates because some people in the board are not accepting it. I was told that I informed by somebody that it was split right down the middle where the coach, speech with the coach or not, 4 against and 4 for. One person wasn't there. It's supposed to be an 11 board member, right? So you have take Speid out, it's supposed to be 5 and 5. The president normally the deciding vote. But somebody wasn't there, was supposed to be there. I guess you got to vote in person. So they have to make a decision. And Speid have to recuse himself. So it was tied 4 and 4 because Speid recused himself. Speid recused himself. Somebody wasn't there, and then somebody wasn't voted or something like that. But it's tied 4-4, which will make no sense because I have 11 people.
Yeah,
Should be 5-5.
I was looking at the thing that they posted today, and you know, I kind of just laugh. Like some things I'm read, it's just, I mean, okay, then I mean that's expected, and like represent the JFF, and I mean they expect any coach to like represent whoever they're employed by, right?
Yep.
I mean, key responsibilities, squad selection, and player recruitment. I mean, that's not rocket science. Training,
No, what they have done is try not to make it too specific, and they're very careful in making sure that who they consider for the role meet all the requirements, and it doesn't put them in a bind where they say something and they can't satisfy.
You expect training, tactics, and match preparation, lead technical and support staff, and represent the Reggae Boyz and JFF. Even if you hire one coach from 5 side, they expect that's the responsibility, you know?
Yeah. Look, I think it could have been more technical in terms of what the requirements are. It could be you develop a recruiting program, recruiting process to bring people in. It could be how you engage, manage, associate with stakeholders. It could be that you have much more. Go ahead. Those are part of the requirements. Those are part of the normal requirements, though. That's part of the normal requirements.
You know, football management is an inside job thing in terms of agents, and everybody know available jobs in the world. You know what I'm saying? Them say people been applied before, and you have a lot of other persons that would have been interested, but probably never put in an application, right? So I think this is just to maybe, I don't know, appease the public or something, which I don't think it's appeasing anybody to be honest.
I think it's probably, I'm going to view it a little bit differently. I think it's more of the board saying we want to see more people.
Want to see more people.
Yeah, we want to see more people. You're telling us this person should get a role. Some board members are not comfortable. Some board members are listening to the general public and saying, yeah, we should challenge this. And they're basically saying, we need to see more people. So let's see who would be interested. And one thing that have been talked about, but should be considered is, which has been mentioned, but is a clear factor is, can we afford someone, someone we'd like, can we afford them?
But look at it this way, right? Right now, this to me disqualifies Speid because him not have elite level coaching experience and him not have strong leadership or communication skills.
No, that's I keep telling you. Go look at the requirements again. You're missing something.
Yeah, but
look at the minimum qualification requirements.
No, but may I use 2 to rule him out already. You get me? I say
no. You're making a mistake. Read the second half of the sentence.
Which one? CONCACAF A license or
no? Go to 2. Go to 2 again.
Elite level coaching experience.
Mm-hmm. What does it say after that?
What elite level?
No. What it say after that?
Experience.
Preferable with senior national teams or top tier professional clubs.
When I see that now one day.
Yes, that's what it says. You're missing that part of the sentence.
Oh.
Yes, they made sure I told you they cover all their bases. They cover all their bases. They did a good job of covering their bases.
Me just see the next line.
Yes, that line covers that base. Man has 4 and 2 or 4 1.5 in terms of record. What are you talking about?
But Kranky, you consider Grenada and the other team.
They said preferable with senior national teams. Kohli have that experience here.
But
Kohli was.
experience against-
It doesn't.
experience against
No.
India is
Read the qualification. It's minimum qualification. Qualification. So the man cover them BS. What you talk about? Cover them BS.
But 2 friendly game and 3 friendly game also can be elite.
433. Listen to 2 things. They move from pro license to A license. Cover them BS. They move from elite coaching to with national team. Cover them BS.
Right.
1 and 2, they cover their base.
How many games Speid have in total with the national
It doesn't
team?
say a number of games. It says
No,
you
but
have
I'm
experience.
saying-
He has
saying-
6.
But I'm saying,
We don't him have work
So
up
what-
qualification on him bench.
so hold on, Kranky.
Pan
The
him
bar is
resume.
low. Hold on, no. The bar is low that we are going to use 6 or 7
But
games
the bar
instead of
was
somebody
been low when you
choosing
go to A license for coaching national team. The bar is low at A license. That's a low bar. You can't go any lower than that.
top tier professional clubs.
Preferable with senior national team. Elite coaching. That's a top tier. So forget about not professional national, the professional club. With senior national teams. Kohli have that experience. Speid have the experience. They cover their bases.
And them say diverse stakeholder expectations. Him of that.
Yeah, yeah. Them cover them base. Every single base is covered. Every single base
Well,
is
now that
covered.
me read that second slide, there sound like it line up team still.
Yeah. I said, of course. Why do you think me have the thumbnail me have? Read through it and realize it's set up for a locally based coach. Locally born coach. Kohli's not locally based, but he's kind of locally based now. That Jamaica, so man Kohli qualified for the role.
Was Kohli there for the Unity Cup?
No, he didn't go. But Kohli has pulled himself away because he wanted a job. So it look like he pulled himself away. He wanted a
But I
job.
did say that. I don't think he must each up on that speed if he might try to go for the job. As soon as I say you have to work your own part. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
People,
because
please don't focus on the people. Please, people don't focus on elite, because elite for them who wrote this means you have international coaching experience, or you coach some team that may play. Because, for example, say Cavaliers is not a pro team, but then play against pro players, then play against MLS teams who's ranked in the top 10 in the world. So in terms of league, so they can make that argument.
But in things like this, Kranky, the minimum qualification shouldn't be a CONCACAF A license too, because I don't think any
Of course not. It should be a pro license. That is not in the question. Of course not.
The competent teams in the region that are successful, them not have a coach with CONCACAF.
But what I will say to you is that FIFA doesn't mandate a pro license at this point in time. It's not mandated till 2030. So therefore, they're in that purview, and you can't say they should have XYZ because they've done it before with Tapa.
Well,
Tapa didn't have a pro license.
common sense is not so common, because you think that the more qualified you are, to some extent, a lot of those people would be better than the less qualified in a sense, you know. And it's not to say that every qualified individual will get the job done, because we have seen that we've had qualified coaches before with pro license and so on, them never really get the job done, right?
Yeah.
However, more than likely, you still want to give somebody that is more qualified the job based on just, you know, them experience, etc., at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? Compared to somebody who is just up and coming, like a Rudolph Speid in a sense, you know, and who has coached at a much lower level. So it have to be mandated. It's just that these people, I mean, I guess they just don't have common sense, you know?
Yeah, look, I think I've always said this, and I get beaten. Me want a Spaniard as the coach. When I want a Spanish coach, I want a Spaniard as the coach. It's a footballing country where you look what country is dominating coaching across the world. You look at that country and their footballing philosophy. You look at their requirement for the UEFA Pro license. And you can find one who has some success and if you can pay them and get them a job. I've been saying that for the last 3. I've been saying that for the last 3 years. I haven't changed my mind.
Iriola, you have such man down at Italy, Fabregas.
Well, you can't afford them, man. You can't afford them. We're not going to even go. We're not going to go that far. Yeah, but all of them, whether it's Pep or Arteta or Ariola or Enrique from PSG, they dominate coaching. They dominate.
I feel like what we fail to realize, as in the JFF, is that like you have a lot of coaches out there that they want to make a name for themselves, you know.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So they just like give anybody the job. That's where you have to have an eye for talent to say, you know what, this person look like them up something, and at this stage that we're in right now, he could be a gem for us. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
he's not going to be the most expensive coach, but if it worked, then it really worked. You know, he can have a lot of success, and then he probably just leave and venture off to something bigger. You know, so we just really not look we're not really looking enough, to be honest. You know, and again, them say them
No,
not.
I think we are very localized in our thinking. And when you bring that up, people want to push back on you and say people in the diaspora think you know everything. But I don't think the people sometimes realize that they know what they know and they know what is in their environment. And even though they may have access global to information, they have not had the exposure and the experience that allow them to think a certain way. But they think they know everything about everything. And if you challenge them, they take it personal and they're going to push back hard on you. And that's fine. It's their prerogative. But at the end of the day, if they listen and they don't take criticism as criticism, but they take it as information, they would make better decisions. Much better decisions.
Before I listen, I just want to say congrats on the Premier League title, you know.
You know, so I didn't beat you about that, right? You know, I don't say anything, right? Because I'm a very humble winner. Very humble winner. Yeah. You call after we done and it died out and move on.
No man, you know that. Still celebrate until next season. Celebrate until the next season finishes. You know what I say? So
we win with humility. That's what we do. Well, some of us.
The title, you know, cause
yes, the Knicks are very important actually. More important than even Arsenal. Huh?
One game like 2 years ago, and from this I just my team, you know. So.
Oh, so you're a Knicks fan?
Yeah, by just going to one game. And I'm a Mets fan as well. Well, whenever I go on a baseball game, I go watch a game over the Mets stadium, a football game. So I just become a fan of the Mets though. But big up yourself.
All right, bless up. Thanks. Yeah. Hello, good night. Oh Lord have mercy. Are you a call? Yeah, last call of your night. Go on. The floor is yours. Hello. Fisherman.
Good night, man.
Good night.
Pressure come off.
Oh, yes, he came off.
Cataract, I think I am cataract, they will talk for the whole night.
I don't know, me a cataract.
When cataract, tell cataract for open a podcast, man. I'm alone want to talk.
The floor is yours, Fisherman. Yeah, use it for time. I want to finish the program. The floor is yours, man. Finish 8 o'clock, so you have 8 minutes. I know you want to talk. Go on. The floor is yours.
Cataract, good afternoon. Good night. Good afternoon.
Good night. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, good evening. A good while love me not call you, you know. Yeah, if you make your head hurt you.
Well, I haven't been on that much, you know. I've been busy. I haven't had time for the YouTube, but anyway, go on.
Cataract want to tell the same cousin can still play and all of them things and then not call him up.
So what you have to say, Fisherman? You don't come to call cataract. You come to complain about local versus overseas. They can never do. So let me hear the argument. So wait, Fisherman, are you very happy about this team going to play South Africa?
If me happy?
Mm-hmm.
No, it don't really matter which team they go play them.
No, but we have in the squad. We only have 3 overseas born players, so you should be happy. You and Maverick should be happy.
I mean, most likely them enough of the guys them supposed to go on for a vacation, some are who go play and all them stuff there. So me never really have one did I want if I were local or
no, but the locally born players are getting an opportunity, right? They get an opportunity.
That's well good. Them get them opportunity. All some of them to do is just take it with both, grab it with both hands.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I hope they do.
That's all them have to do is go out there and put up them and say, yes, me ready, me can play at this level, you know. It don't really matter. And I hear the guy named Brandon Cover.
Yeah.
I just hear him on the sport news a while ago. Me kind of there distant from the radio, but me hear him and him was saying him something representing him country and him, you know, me kind of me hear him say that. Yeah, I say yes, him sound like somebody who really dedicated and really want to play for the country. I respect him for that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem, you know?
No, he was very about both he and Clark actually, because you heard both of the interviews, right? I think Clark made his debut.
Yeah, as I said, I'm away from the radio. I couldn't hear it that properly. But me hear like him say, either always want to represent him or glad to represent him or something like that.
Yes, he did say that.
I may say yes. It you know, me feel when me sit down and hear him say that represent my country and stuff. Yeah, I kind of feel, you know, me say yes. I kind of appreciate what him say and him. And
so I have a question. I have a question for you. Who you want to be the coach for the national team?
Who want to be the coach?
Man, I repeat my question.
Well, to be frank, Kranky. right now I'm not out here pushing which coach I want. I just want a coach who can come and bring the team, bring the Jamaica football somewhere. Play a part to help develop Jamaica football. I don't care who. I don't care where the person come from. I don't really matter. I don't really matter. It don't matter to me.
Do you think any of the locally born coaches are at the level to do that currently? If part of your objective is to develop the local footballers to get to a certain standard, they can compete globally. Do you think any local coaches have those prerequisites to do so?
All right. The thing is, at the moment, I hear them say them don't have the funds to really bring forth a coach. And if you don't have the funds to do it, I don't think you can force them to do it and then don't have the funds. Where them go and get the funds?
So here's a question then. So why put out the request for people to apply if you can't pay them?
But I think the request is far mostly, I think it's local coach. Them really have request far.
Okay.
The thing is, people say get foreign coach, get the coach. But if they say then don't have the funds, what them gonna use to pay that foreign coach? Because I see them when I see them call for Slida Mali to help fund the team, the girls team to go and play these 2 practice match. I was shocked because that's why I couldn't do the job that those person is doing, you know. Because you see, if me and somebody fall out certain way, it going to be hard for me to turn back and go and kiss that person behind to get funds to go where I want to go, you know. It's going to be very hard for me, you know. I couldn't do that, you know. So if you see them do that, it really look like they're strapped for catch for real.
Well, I mean, you can also appeal to someone's sentiment and love of something, right? So they probably know she's very supportive of the girls and therefore will never tell them no when it comes to the girls.
I hear you talk and you see like a person would never stoop to certain level, you know.
Well, that's me. Me different.
That's what I'm saying. I could never do it. So if you see them do something like that, that's showing that they really strapped for cash. This thing when them don't qualify for the World Cup, you lick them chip, you know. It really lick them chip. So if them say them don't have the cash, I'm not gonna go around and say, boy, they have the cash, find it and get. No, me not gonna do that. Them say they don't have it, and if you can't pay the person you bring, and them people say they want staff. Because the people talking about bringing coach, you know, they say when they get a coach, they must make them bring them one staff, bring them everybody where they're supposed to carry. So where the JFF gonna get those funds to pay all of those staff. They say they must get a technical director, bring him here to develop the football. If they don't have the cash, where them gonna get that money to pay those?
Well, no, they have a technical director now, right? They hired a local person, technical director, correct? So that's off the table.
Experience. So what I'm saying, if you pay the local, the person who is local, you don't think the person who come international gonna take more?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know who may be considering the position. We don't know what the compensation they're looking for. There's some people already rich. They may just want a role to get them back into a certain place. You never know, right? You could get lucky. Nobody want to work for free, but you could get lucky.
We Jamaican always have this thing about us, you know, where we say Jamaican is a brand and people want to do things for us. That is the notion enough people have out there, you know. So we is a brand and people will come for certain if they will take a certain amount to coach Trinidad. No, they're not gonna take that from Jamaica because they love Jamaican so much. So they will say no.
Me and Rudolph Speid attacking, so I give my work for free.
You know? So
when they hear Rudolph I work for free, I'm gonna take less than I'm supposed to get.
Well, me feel strongly Rudolph Speid now gonna take where an international coach will take.
He may take less, but he ain't working for free.
And
he ain't taking what Whitmore take either, because Whitmore's taking chump change.
Yeah, Whitmore wasn't getting a lot of money to play coach a national team.
Nope.
So at the end of the day, the local always take less. Carl Brown never used to almost get nothing. One time, the Federation, Captain Horace Burrell, and Carl Brown come out and say, Captain Horace Burrell tell him that he will pay him $100 $100 US. $100. I don't know if $100 or what. Either days or weeks we coach a local squad.
Burrell had no respect for certain persons.
Just to tell you how we treat when it come on to local. But as I said, if Speid get the job, and the way how I'm hearing talking, it sound like him will get the job.
Yep.
Until if he get the job, I don't have a problem.
Okay.
Because you have some things when we really like him stamp out. These things where when you call up players, I don't say you don't have players when them call them sometimes them have certain things and them really couldn't make it, I don't have a problem with that. But you have some players who take these things as habit. When you call them pick and them choose which time them want to come, which match them want to come play. You have players who want to play, but say now me can't come because me have a party. Or some player will even do nothing in a football.
So call name no man.
When I reach nowhere in a football.
Fisherman, don't be shy. Call some name.
What is their claim to fame? What is their claim to fame? This morning here, Maverick on the radio. Whisper good I feel away because I never get called up for the match after you never call me. So now you want to come call me. So the man have a right to vex. When me hear the man attack him something, me sit down and me I say, this man always come up with some things, If me have a youth I go to school and they say Maverick come talk to give some advice. Would I tell me you don't go to school today, Yeah. More no one think go to school today.
I thought you were a Maverick supporter.
No, that's how you thought. You thought that me people always thought say me that me support somebody, I agree with somebody sometime. That means I support him in everything. It's nonsense. Cause Maverick don't feel say a player. Maverick feels say for you a star player, you have money, A coach, anything the player do, the coach must say, all right, you say, you want you to play. Me no matter what you do, me compromise and play you. I saw him think. Him not think no because the man they make money and they're rich. So you're supposed to stoop.
Well, no, I think what Maverick is saying though is that it's a personal thing why he didn't call Whisper. That's what he's saying.
No, man, that's the way I try to put it. That's the way they try to do all the time, They want to put it like that. But the things them where the man where this youth when I do what is his claim to fame? That is what I'm asking, What Whisper in football?
He's in Chelsea's academy.
Eh?
He was
in Chelsea academy?
Yeah.
But you can dictate when you forget call, how much minutes you forget. What you do in football? If you did have some credit in the bank, you know that different. If you was a player where, yes, you create waves over the world, you do things. When you get the call for the national team, you do things. So when you get left out and you even make some stupid talk, you can say, boy, I'll give him a pass, because this him have credit in the bank. Him do things. This guy don't do nothing in football.
But here's what's interesting, Fisherman. Here's what's interesting. So here's an analogy. Trent Alexander-Arnold, right? Tuchel didn't call him, right?
Yeah.
I don't hear anything about Trent and say him now come back even get called or nothing. Even though a lot of people in the English media and a lot of pundits believe he should have been called, right? Morgan Gibbs-White didn't get called. Stats are better than Eze and some of these other players. Scored like in eight games of the season, scoring the last 8. He said Tuchel talked to him and basically him say, and give an explanation, and I live with it, and wish your team good luck. But because some people have the attitude, and because there are few people who have gone overseas to big clubs, even though they haven't done anything yet, they believe they have the authority to do and say certain things.
That is what I'm saying, Those guys where you just call out, do things.
Yep.
Them have credit in the bank. This guy, every time when me hear people talk about this guy, me wonder, I wish planet me there. Because it seems like this guy create some things when me don't know about. I remember the drop asleep or something. And me I try to look feet and me I say, where it is? Where it is? You don't do nothing in football. And you vex car, you never did get called. You vex car, me did get
once again, Fisherman. So Jamin says he called Nikita Fulop and Ellis over Whisper. If I were Whisper, I would accept call either. So let me say two things on that. Not just not to defend Speid. One is Henderson got called for England. Yeah, he was a former captain. He's on the bench for Brentford. He got called over a bunch of players who were better than him. He got called over Wharton, who played for Crystal Palace, better than him. Coach called for different reasons. And those players who got called I don't think the coach had plans for them anyway. They just get probably called for the experience. They weren't part of the match day squad in either games. So they were fringe players. They could be other players who could have been called apart from those two players, right? I don't hear Dixon making up a noise because he wasn't called. I don't hear Dixon losing his mind. When he got called the other day, he went, didn't play as well as you'd like, but he played in 2 games and now he's going to Mexico. Sometime when you're young, you have to humble yourself.
But that is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That is what I'm saying. So what? Should Nick Fuller get called over your Ellis? That means when you get a next call up, you say you're not going.
But Fuller get called and Ellis get called over Dixon. And Dixon is the one who started the other day and play all the game in a Unity Cup.
And Dixon never say anything when he never get called. He never say anything. Because this is coming from him angler, or the angler angle him and when tell them, because them are the best things in sliced bread. So anytime when you don't get no call, when they call it the next time, don't go. Because you're bigger than that, you're bigger than them. Come on, right now you're hanging by a thread. The Unity Cup would be a good stepping stone for you. Go out there and go out there, go present yourself and see if a club can see you. And call you up and give you a good contract where you can play some senior football. That me think of that you should do. Anybody around him should encourage him to do that. But no, people are encouraging him, say you're big, you're rich. Or them not to call you for the national team. I mean run the national team and them not call me. Yo, I'm glad Speid, me want Speid for the when them come with them attitude, you put them by the wayside for a long while. Make them go out there, go create some waves, and then me call you. Because you're not create no waves now. So me not call you. And no matter where your angler say or you say, me not go call you. Make your football speak for you. Go out there, go play football, and that you get go play football.
So let me say this. I believe that Whisper should have been called, not because he was playing any football. I mean, he didn't play no football. And West left that bench. But because of the comparative between certain players who got called. Having said that, if you don't get called, you humble yourself. That's my philosophy.
That is what I'm saying.
You don't get called, you humble yourself.
If you don't get called, so what? You is not the first person who thinking should I get called and not get called. And the thing is, you don't do nothing in a football, and that me I say you don't do nothing. You don't do nothing in a football. So me not see why you're supposed to come out and have vex. I mean, go and go drink rum if you want to drink rum, man. Because rum cup me see him with. Go and go drink if you want to drink rum.
But here's another thing to Fisherman. Somebody chastised me last night. So I was selling lies because I said he turned on multiple calls. People forget the first call he turned up. When he had his party, he turned on. You remember when Hagrimson was here? When he had his party, he turned on the call.
More than one time he turned on calls.
Somebody said me I tell lie. More than one time.
I them a tell lie, man. I them a tell lie.
When he had his birthday party, he turned the call down when Hagrimson was here. Yeah.
They know that is lie them telling. Say it's not the first him turned on call. But continue turn on your call him when you want to turn down. I don't give a damn as far as me concerned. If you go out there and go play football and you play football, yes, call you. But when you play football and you say some things about the coach and the federation, go sit on one side. Make people like out there where you talk about federation. If you want this the coach, and you expect the coach to call you, you want this the coach and the coach will sup it and say, all right, me will call you, okay? The whole way are trash. From top to bottom are trash.
Yeah, but players who did coach get traded or the coach get fired, one of the two happen, they can't coexist. They can't coexist. If you're a big player like Ronaldo, you end up in Saudi Arabia. Not a bad work, but you end up in Saudi Arabia, right? If you have Rashford, if you have my name that went to Villa, Sancho, and you say something, you respond to being criticized, you get ostracized. That's how life works.
But I don't know what to these people. Behaving like these guys the best things in sliced bread and he might create waves. So if you get called every time and even if you do anything, you must be overlooked.
So Fisherman, is a question for you, Fisherman. It's a question for you. The question is, so answer the question. Does Speid have a bias with squad selection or no?
If him have a bias with squad selection?
Yeah.
Let me see. Right now? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think him right at the moment him pick who available to him. I think him might pick who available to him.
No, let's say before. So let's the previous window before the Unity Cup, he had a chance to pick across all the players. I hear nobody complain. It's going to be fine funny, Fisherman. When anybody not cuss when John Ross not get called, right? Whenever anybody a cuss. For me, anybody say nothing. But Whisper not get called, and John Ross was playing more than Whisper for the most part during the campaign, people lose their mind. So, and I know Whisper is people's favorite, and I think Whisper has ability, but Whisper wasn't playing for Leicester, and people on the bench. Whisper is a relegated side, getting relegated, and they still weren't, they might play a 16-year-old Whisper. Whisper boy, about 19, 20. Whisper, they brought him on loan, they watched him in training, and didn't think he was good enough.
Then we don't see that. Then everybody don't see that. People are trying to make excuse. See, then people don't see that, say never there get no game. We don't see that, say never there get no game. Every time when me turn on my TV, I look for him play. Either him come on some 10 minutes, or him not get no game at all. We know everybody not see that. Say never there get no game. Going on one side where him Angla say him did I get called from Germany, must say Belgium, wherever, and him decide to send him to Leicester. We never see it. And him say him score up goals. But him can't score goal after they on the field to score the goal. He was on the bench the whole entire time. And people say a pre-season and him have a hectic, him play a whole lot of games. So in the under 21 and when he go to Leicester, so him go that tired. Are he tired?
No, that's not true. He didn't play a whole lot of games. That's not true. He wasn't starting every game for Chelsea. No, he was well regarded at Chelsea at one point, but he didn't play a ton of games to be tired. That's not true.
Them say him good feel him tired by, some say him good tired by sitting on the bench and him frustrated. So him not bother take up the car, him have to come get re-energized. Yeah. Come back to Jamaica, come get re-energized, Go and drink some rum and have some party and all of those things. But at the end of the day, I want some of them get weed out outside. Weed out.
Well, that's where you and I agree, where I believe they need to be more disciplined. We would also call it culture, in terms of changing culture. I totally agree with that. I don't think... I'm going to give you an example. And people don't let me say this, but I must say it. There's some players who pick and choose when they come to the national team. But are locally born, overseas born, there's some players who pick and choose. Now I cover my mouth, then pick and choose. When I pick and choose thing, most players from most countries get called, them go on the national team. Now, if you're injured or you have extenuating circumstances, that should be broadcast. Not exactly what it may entail, but say, you know what, we accept the reason the person can join. We don't want nobody to say them now turn up. And then I give some a flimsy excuse. Then they'll come back, stay here.
Me, I watch Poland last night. I play against Nigeria. Them did I play against?
Yeah.
Last night I watch them. Poland. And when me look and see big level, them big top striker I play for Barca, where the man just have a hectic season. And I man that me see I play practice game. Them not qualify for World Cup.
But to the opposite, I must say the opposite. Osimhen didn't turn up, right? And the coach make excuse for him. The coach make excuse for him. And a bullshit excuse him again.
Yeah.
But it happened. It happened to some players. But he's a big player too.
These players will play a hectic season. Him could have said to him, coach, the team not qualify for World Cup. He could have said, go sit down and rest myself. The man turn up for him country and I play for him country and the team not going to World Cup.
Well, Fisherman, let me just say this. I can understand some players who may be tired. It's a long season, right? A Bobby Reed, for example, play for Leicester, all these games. Championship people play about 40 games. But people like Whisper was on the bench, they're not an excuse. Dixon, they're not an excuse.
Yeah, man, I whisper them, me attack.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying there's some national players, like even Richard King, playing a lot of games for St. Mary. Me can understand him tired because it's a long season of World Cup qualifiers, they have travel. But people like Whisper not playing football for me if you say, boy, I'm not going to play football. Sorry.
No, but some man want to put the King now. See, but King never take up the call. They now put the thing in context and I realize it. And I say, they know still, but them purposely I do that. Them know still say the man just, and him did have the playoff. Him did have the playoff to stay in the league.
Right.
So the man take up the call, Ghana play against South Africa. So you have to put the thing them in context. But some man now go do that. They might just look on it and say, see, they never take up the call. So you want to put it like say I'm going to whisper alone, not take up call. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I want the man bring in something strict, put in certain rules. I say, you can't, as I say, you go and take things, take a player, and if this player you say come to you and say, boy, can't take up this call to certain things, certain reason why I can't take up this call. and you can look into that. You can say, all right, you make him go on.
Yep.
But if it's a constant thing, where a man vex to him, never get call out the window there, him not take up the call, or you choose which match you want to play, you don't take up the call. We forget rid of them stuff there. Get rid of them stuff there.
I would agree. Look, I would admit that it's a little bit, the traveling is a challenge for some people. Flying 10 hours to come to Jamaica and then fly to Mexico. You have to go back or train. I know that's difficult for some people, right? It's people like Latin people, them take up the call all the time. There's some players who take up the call most of the time. Latin never come play this time. Don't know why, because he was in the squad. But there's some players who them come most of the time. Like, so they call you Brandon cover attack. They will take up the call when them get called. Right? Yes. But there's some people who pick and choose when they want to come. And there's some local players who also pick and choose when they want to come.
Yeah, man, and you see, yeah, all right. You have me as a man who just wants to be a local player. You see how me I beat a while ago.
Yes, you're maturing.
You see how you.
Wait now, people like chat and say the same thing. Me I say, you're mature. It's never too late. It's never too late.
Me want to see good for the football, and at the end of the day, as me say, the coach. No matter how we talk, the coach have the last talk when they are pick inside. And I don't think Speid get the job. Speid want to win. Speid have him ego and Speid want to win.
Yeah, he wants to win.
Speid want to prove to them, chat him out where chat and say no good.
Yeah.
And Speid want to prove to them. So Speid want to win.
Yep.
So I think he's going to put him best foot forward and he's going to pick the best team.
We agree on that. Now, I have said Speid should coach a team because of what transpired, but at the same time, I agree with that sentiment.
So, at the end of the day, as me say, last night, me didn't want to call you about your basketball, you know.
So, why you never call? Because I was on commentating on the game, you know. Do I seem like I know the game? Do I seem like I know the game?
I was watching. You was getting, when the game just start, and you start ball. You start say, can't do this.
I was expressing frustration as a fan. And as a commentator, because Brunson was hogging the ball too much. We have been very successful. We've been very successful with sharing the ball. I know him alone can score. He was what, 12 of 30 or some ridiculous number.
If you watch Brunson from, say Brunson will start out the game by missing shots. But when it comes to the closing part of the game, the man have a turn up.
No, but here's what you guys are missing, but people don't seem to realize. You're taking 30 shots. See a team take 90 shots. You take 30 of them, and you have about 8 or 9 players in that rotation. And when you are the main man, if they run him off more screens, if they run him down low with picks, he get more wide open shots. He might pound the ball too much.
Look here, man. The man is not a Harden. The man is not a James Harden. The man, Branson, ice cold. The man is ice cold. And when you see the man, me know the man played a 3 point. The man scoring at the first quarter.
He missed 19 shots last night. He missed 19 shots.
He scored what? 8 in the second. You see how much points the man end up with in the match when the game done?
Yeah, but he took more shots than points scored. I think people have missed that. Him shoot the ball 31 times and make 10 score 30 points. That's not good.
Yeah, that is Kranky. At the end of the day, man, it's all about when the game done. When he reach to the crunch part of the game, what him do with the shots them. You see when he reach down to the crunch, one at the time the man scored the last 8 points. One at the time the last set of points he score, and the man scored every one of them, you know.
So Fisherman, here's something different from you people. I'm different from Fisherman. You know something? If he had passed the ball more, we would need any heroics at the end of the game. The game would have been over already.
What I'm saying, what you need to understand, them playing on the road. The man are playing on the road.
I know.
The man playing on the road and going on the road, and you end up. Sometimes we don't want so much of a perfect player.
No. That's not what we're saying. That's what we're saying. I'm saying this. Look, the problem we had in the first half is that Josh Hart got 2 fouls, so therefore he wasn't there to contribute as much as he would like. He got 3 fouls in the first half, by the way. And they kept him in, which is just stupid to me. But if Brunson was sharing the ball, Aniobi's a good scorer, Bridges is a good scorer, Cat is a good scorer. You don't need to score all the ball. You don't need to shoot all the ball.
Look here, as me I say, Knicks are not really my Lakers are my team, you know. Because Kobe are my player. So me also watch some Magic. So me get fit.
So you're a very seasoned person then. Very seasoned.
Yeah. You see,
if you watch Magic, you're seasoned. Because Magic stopped playing in the 90s.
Yeah, man. You know, when the Magic contracted with the virus and all of those things, man, and he come back and I play. At the end of the day, all I'm saying, you see back then, this a man used to hate Jordan, you know. Hate Jordan.
Johnny Club.
When me and Pop, when every time when Knicks, because we come up and we say, when him, Patrick Ewing is a Jamaican. So although Lakers on my side, when Patrick Ewing a play for Knicks, me want Knicks to win. And every time when him a go up against Jordan and Jordan a kick out them teeth, they vex. You know? So when them comes up, but when Jordan a retire, you know, we say, all right, he must get a ring now. But he make Elijah one come and smash out them teeth.
No, that's Starks and him 2 for 18.
I mean, I said, him and John Stark. I mean, I said, John Stark. Oh. So when all Jordan now go come back now, I said, my God, he not going to get no ring. Nope. And in the left and go after him.
He went to Seattle, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I said, John was saying, now get no him not. So you say, no. I see him for the bed, I see him there. I say, me want. Me kind of in a 2 minds still, you know, because you see, when me still, me kind of as a young to come over from France, I say, the youth here, might. But if him no win, me not go to. What I like Branson to win still. Me not tell a lie. What I like Branson to get.
I'm a New York fan, so let's hope it comes through. It's about time. It's time we win a championship.
Oh, you bring Knicks.
Come and live in New York.
I don't know why you bring it.
It was mainly Patrick, you know, because Patrick used to play at Georgetown. I was a big Georgetown fan. So Patrick was at Georgetown for 4 years, and Patrick a Jamaican. I love Patrick. I love John Thompson as a coach. I love Patrick. So that was the association. And Knicks is in New York, so I like New Knicks with Bernard King way back when. Huh?
You think back in the days, you know, most Jamaican carry Liverpool and carry Knicks just true because John Barnes was a Jamaican.
Yep.
And Knicks and Patrick Ewing. Me feel say that's why most Jamaican. But to them here, Magic. Yesterday, me and Maverick said, I went in the parade. Him know say, I know me can't believe it, you know.
What I'm saying?
I know say Patrick Ewing was a Jamaican, you know. I went in the parade. Me I say, and him a carry Knicks. Me I say, when me hear say it still, I say, I don't say lie. Tell Maverick, lie. Tell man. Actually, a Patrick Ewing why you carry Knicks, man. You know, but when me hear man say when him the parade, him know say Patrick Ewing is a Jamaican.
That's possible. It's possible. News wasn't that free that day then.
Go some man. Me not believe him. Me might wrong, but me not believe him. Me feel a Patrick Ewing why him carry. And most Jamaican carry Knicks through Patrick Ewing from back in the days. Me don't know about no. Now I'm gonna say no. But back in the days, our age group people are carrying.
Yeah, because Patrick was the only Jamaican you know about in the league them time. Then, we don't know Jamaican. Patrick was the only Jamaican we know about in the league at that time.
We know. We are watch Jordan and match up and cheer for Jordan, and people cheer for Jordan while me every side go up against Jordan, me want them beat. Our sons, when sons go up Jordan, me want sons beat them. But them all
Fisherman, I have to leave you now. Me overstay, me welcome.
Yeah, man. Anyway, you see, if them win, if something I don't win the match, the next match I win tomorrow, anyhow, Spurs don't win tomorrow. They might get 4-0. 4-0.
I'm not gonna say they're gonna 4-0 because they are a resilient team. Remember they won the first game in Oklahoma City. They lose the next 2, and then beat Oklahoma in Oklahoma. Them not give up, man. Them young and they have no sense. Them young and full of ability.
Well, yeah, but this is a different kettle of fish. Them man I want it. Then anyhow, you see him like how Cavaliers go down, they go at Knicks and I lead Knicks by 20 something points coming at the fourth quarter and then dash it away. I see them dash it away now. Them dash it. That's done it, you know. Them now win not even one more. Yeah, man, when them get beat, me say that done it because this must get to them head. When them realize, and the coach, them should have fired that coach. That coach is a waste coach.
That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true. He made some bad mistakes.
Aside, and the man even cut not him time out. The man when
He was saving
kill
them for the next game. Was saving them. For the next game.
Even to make me call a timeout and break the floor.
So
Yeah,
Fisherman, I'll leave you, but I have new respect for you. Your knowledge of sports has improved 100% since we last spoke. And wait, you're much more balanced. I think somebody gave you some water. Somebody gave some.
man.
And give some water to drink. Somebody give some water to drink. Give some water, some balanced water. We call it balanced water. Balanced water. You're much more objective in your perspective.
I watch sport, football, cricket, and tennis, and all them something. I watch them thing there.
Yeah, you watch tennis too. So you're celebrating Serena Williams a comeback at 44.
Yeah, she come back
Yeah, you know why some people come back, people. Before me say the last thing, it's very hard to be at the limelight when you've been in the limelight all your life. It's hard to leave when nobody not think about you, nobody not talk about you. You're not on people's tongues every day. It's very hard.
Some people love the limelight.
Yeah. Some people love it.
They can't see themselves just sitting home.
No.
You know, them have to find something to do. Sometimes some of them don't have nothing else to really do still,
That is true.
So when
that is
go
true.
Home, yeah. So it just look and them say, although me good at think me not go win not much, but me just go back just to go.
Yeah, you're out there, you're competing, you're doing something, you're training for something. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for the call, sir. Yeah, man. Thanks for the call. Yeah, man. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Bless up.
Yeah, man.
Good call. Good call, Fisherman, for the first time ever. Good call. Later.
All right, sir.
Yeah, bless up. All right, people. That's Fisherman with a good call finally. No, it's all good. It's all good. I appreciate you being here. Hope that we had a good conversation earlier about the JFF, the coaching requirements, and whether or not the coaching requirements was set up to allow certain people to qualify to be the coach of the national team. I think it was well orchestrated. Maybe well is not the right word, but it's orchestrated. And let's see what happens. Let's see if there are other persons who throw a wrench in the apple cart by applying and are willing to take the compensation provided to them. Because I'm sure, given the people who may apply, the one question is going to be, can JFF afford to pay them? Because they say they have no money. And as Fisherman alluded to, the fact that Cedella Mali had to sponsor the girls to go to Panama for the 2-game series is an interesting one. I'll be back tomorrow for the next game. I'll be back Saturday for the Jamaica game against South Africa. Supposedly that game will be on. But the women are playing tomorrow against Panama. That should be on JFF Live, and the men are playing against South Africa on Saturday, so JFF Live. Initially, I got information that the game was going to be the 5th for the South Africa game, but that's not the case. I think the team's supposed to be leaving today to go to Mexico. As you can see from the squad, which I'll put up again, and I'm missing Tyrone Ming from it. That's the squad. It's mainly locally based players with a few players dropped in. Canabias Clark. Courtney Clark was very impressive in the Cup. And also, Brennan Cover was also very impressive. And Dejan Brown didn't get much game time, but may get more game time in this game. And also, we have Javante Stewart, who people have been calling for forever to be in the squad. He's finally here. Let's hope he gets some playing time. We can assess him. We can see him. The coach can see him. And he can be a mainstay. So thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Before you leave, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you have the notification bell on so when I come on, you can see me. And please share the channel. All right? Thanks a lot. Have a good evening and peace out.